All right, looks like we're live, everybody. Dave is still a little bit busy right now. As soon as he's done, we'll get started, but I figure I might as well go live and get us the sound check. So let me know how I sound. Um, yeah, I had a feeling he might run a little bit late today, but we'll try to stay as close to schedule as possible. But, oh, come on. As we always do,
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
we will do it live. So let's say hi to all the beautiful people in the audience. Oh, we got Helmet Fire. What's up, sir? Luna Girl. Hello, ma'am. We got Bronco Fett. The Hectolorian. Oh, wait. Oh, we got Dragon Buddy.
Missa honey.
And nobody's going to be slapping me tonight. I believe. Riveting, I know. Get my notes up. Just looked at something Dave wrote in his notes. It's pretty funny. While we're here, Dave and I were talking about some upcoming episodes. Shaking it too many times for polite company. Oh, right. So for next week, we're looking at the music of 1993. Week after that, April 11th, we're looking at Dune, the new Dune movie, which Dave nor myself have seen. I haven't seen any Dune or read any Dune content, so this will be all new to me. Hopefully get into Star Wars Astronomy on April 18th. April 25th, we have a continual Patreon poll going on right now. They want to do a music topic, so we'll do that on April 25th, which means we need to start putting out more polls to better refine that. So I think what we'll do for the next poll after that is, do you want, when it talks about music, do you want like the music of a year? Do you want the music of, or do you want us to talk about like a specific artist or band? Do you want us to talk about a specific album? So yeah, we'll put that poll up probably next, maybe the middle of this week, and we'll continue to refine that. I know a couple of people have one very specific thing in mind, so we'll see if that ends up winning out. Hello, Nicole. So yes, to update anybody who is just now hopping in, Dave had to go and handle something. As soon as he gets back, we're going to get started. Do apologize for the delay, though. Oh, God, did I actually just apologize for something? Record this moment because it doesn't happen very often. All right. Well, how do you kill some dead air here? I will be talking about the slap heard around the world during my week today. And my opinion is probably not what most of you will believe or think that I would say about it. But we'll get there. Let's see, what else is going on around the world right now? It's all about Ukraine. 3 dead, 20 injured. Oh, yeah, so we had these fucking weird-ass snow squalls blowing through the Northeast today for anybody who's not in the area. And I got multiple, like, weather warnings. We almost never get weather warnings that, like fire up your phone and it makes shit, like, loud and all kinds of crazy alerts because of snow squalls in the area, which are these, I guess, little pockets of, like, strong snow. Mind you, we just had a series of, like, 60 and 70-degree days back-to-back, and then all of a sudden the temperature just dropped again, and now we're miserable again. Because fuck this weather. So. I got to remember to hit the record button before we start, too. As a reminder, Dave and I have a new board bet. It is whether or not Trey Lance is the 49ers starting quarterback at the beginning of the next NFL football season. I saw that they might be cutting Garoppolo as early as today. So we'll see. Don, I don't think you answered me in the chat. But Dave and I are talking about having the whole Escape Pod crew on the show. If you guys can manage it at some point, either the end of April or beginning of May timeframe. Probably had to be the beginning of May at this point because our April schedule is pretty much set in stone. So if there's a Monday when you think you're all going to be available, let us know. And then if there's a specific topic you want to cover, also scroll. He did answer. I didn't see that. I'm not seeing anything. Set it up with. What is Kelly your manager? Does she handle all of your affairs? Set it up with Lunar Girl. That's too funny. Yeah, I don't know what all your guys' availability is on Monday nights, so. Though I always see Dragon Buddy in our chat on Mondays, so he's got to have some kind of availability. Brady's kind of hit or miss. But that happens when you have like 13 kids, so. All right, who else we got in the chat? Press Play Streaming Studios. Hello. Christian Fandom Geek. And again, Dave is handling some business right now, some family business. And as soon as he gets back, we'll get started. Should be any minute. Oh, I'd hate for you to have to take a fucking day off of work. Joker voice. Hello, sir. Ah, yes. We just went through that ourselves a little over a year ago. Boy's still working on his actual license, but it's a long story. I blame COVID for a lot of that. Let's see. What can I talk about that's not already being discussed in the episode? It's starting to get hot in here. Did I talk about the DeLorean thing? Did I mention that on the show? I think I did. About when, whenever the new DeLorean comes out, if it's somewhat affordable, I'm totally getting one. DeLorean. We're going to share a screen here. Share screen. Hallelujah. So this is the preview right now on the DeLorean.com. They're coming out with a brand new model of car. It seems it's going to be all electric. Seems like they're going to make it kind of like a Tesla. I'm hoping it's going to be somewhat affordable because if it's anything reasonable, my ass is going to be all over it. So here's hoping. Realistically, they're probably going to be like 80 grand and out of my price range, but you know, a man can dream. here. Didn't think Dave was going to take this long. Hopefully everything's all right. Got to stay for Dave's week. Yeah, so Kristen and I just watched The Godfather for the first time. We finished it last night. We split it over 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday. So about an hour and a half each night. I should mention the subtitle thing when we talk about it. Write that in my handwritten notes. Subtitles. Question mark? All right, so Joker Voice is estimating 175 Gs for the new DeLorean. I mean, you're probably not far off. Press Play has never seen Godfather. Well, until yesterday, I was right there with you. Yeah, I watched that clip from the Oscars last night. Francis Ford Coppola is actually looking better than Pacino or De Niro at this point. Pacino's he's looking all at his age. How old is he now, by the way? I just so happen to have the IMDb page up. Al Pacino. Born in 1940. So he's 82. Well, he'll be 82 April 25th. I think Marlon Brando, if he was still alive, he'd be 100. James Caan is still alive. I watched an interview with him. He was also born in 40, and his birthday was 2 days ago. So he just turned 82 2 days ago. Robert Duvall, I believe, is also still alive. Born in 31, so... Oh, man. So he'll be 90 next year. Wait, math. No, he's already 90. Because I went to public school. 91? Yeah, I guess he's 91. Wow. He's getting up there. Hold on. Robert Duvall. Is he related to Shelley Duvall by any chance? Yeah, he's 91 years old. But there's no reference to Shelley in his Wikipedia page, so maybe not. And does it poorly, for that matter. So you bring up Godfather 2. I've always heard that a lot of people think 2 is better than 1. Obviously, I haven't seen 2 yet. But after watching the first one, I'm definitely interested in seeing the other 2. I heard 3 was not good. But, I mean, if I'm going to watch 2, I might as well watch the third one as well. So, hello. I gotta pee. All right, Dave has to pee. But he is done with his family business. So, well, not quite. Now he's taking care of his family business. He's done with his other business, so he'll be in here momentarily. Stop sharing. I told you to stop sharing. Fucking whatever. For me, 1 is the best. Oh. 2 is great. 3 is okay. Okay. I mean, if 3 is just okay, I'll take that, because I've heard everything from, oh, it's garbage, to eh. So, why am I getting text messages? What's going on here? 1 image. Oh. Yeah, did we get any more snow squalls? Oh, we did?
Yeah, while I was in the car.
Oh, nice. We are live, by the way.
Yeah, I saw it go.
I
got the notification while I was in the middle of the fucking doctor's appointment.
I've been poorly trying to keep the people occupied, doing public school math, and embarrassing myself live on the air. So
What kind of math?
I was trying to figure out how old Robert Duvall is because he's still alive.
Right.
He's actually 91, but I, for some reason, thought he was 93 based on my poor math. So,
Yes, leave the webinar. All right, give me a moment.
not a problem.
Let me get my shit together here.
All right. Well, while he's doing that, so what is this whole scheduling everything through Lunar Girl now with the site, the Escape Pod guys?
Huh?
Like, is she not you? I'm talking to the people.
Huh?
Like, is this really a thing where she's like your representative now, and we have to contact her if we want to book you for any events? Is that what's going on?
We're doing Uncle Tony's bat mitzvah, and we did the.
Yeah, apparently. Well, you know, I mentioned how we're talking about having the Escape Pod crew on
Yeah.
at some point, and they said we have to book through Lunar Girl. Apparently, she's their manager.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Just watch out. They tend to take a big cut of your earnings, those manager types.
Fuckers.
Then they'll fucking rip you off, and then they won't tell you about good scripts that were written for you for your own TV show, and it'll be a big mess. And then you'll end up suing them, and it'll be a huge breakup.
What are we talking about?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure where I am right now, honestly.
Oh God.
Remind me to hit the record button too before we get started.
Did you put pants on?
I did put pants on.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Everything all right? Okay. You gonna finish closing those blinds, or are you just gonna leave that like that?
Do you really want to watch me fuck with these blinds?
I mean, have you ever used mini blinds before? I mean,
Shut up.
I didn't think it was a difficult.
Do you see these fucking blinds? They're
Look,
coated
just-
in tar, for fuck's sake.
Just grab the bottom of the right side and pull it down as you're fucking with the string.
Look.
Come on, I thought you were smart, man. There we go. See? Was that so hard? Jesus Christ. Oh, they can't see it on camera. Oh. Yeah, he's threatening me with a fucking hammer.
Appointment with my psychologist or my psychiatrist. So,
I suppose that's important.
yeah, it's so I can continue to be medicated and I don't hurt you with a hammer.
Well, I definitely appreciate that. So it's good that you kept that appointment.
Now, if we were really prepared, we would have had like good Godfather music while we were like doing
Well-
our transitions.
Well, then we'd run the risk of copyright shit and everything else.
and shit. Or it could have been bad.
Yeah, like a bad rendition. I prefer doing something like this.
37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks. In a row?
We should just record that so you only have to hit one button.
Right, and it just does.
37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks. In a row?
All right. All right.
Are you good?
I'm good enough.
All right, that's all we can hope for. Well, that being the case, I guess whenever you're ready, give us a countdown.
You gonna hit record?
Fuck yes. So we're ready now.
Yes.
Now
Are you ready now? Do you have your iPad?
I do. It's right
All right.
there.
Good.
All right, you ready?
Yes. What was that?
I hit record. Now I'm waiting for you to roll the tape.
Shut up.
Let's go. to my father, Mike, who just this afternoon went through a triple bypass surgery. He's been out of surgery for about 3 hours now. Everything went well. He is now in recovery. He'll probably be out of it for a couple of days, but you know, he got through the hard part.
To Mike.
Yeah.
As excellent news.
Yeah. I was a little on edge yesterday and today, but everything went well. So yeah, it's all I could hope for.
Listen, it's amazing what they can do now, and how I hate to dare I say simple that they make open heart surgery these days.
Right.
But Jesus, we are so fortunate. We are so fortunate to live in this country where we have access to such good healthcare. And
Indeed.
Yeah, it's really good to hear.
Yeah. So that being said, hello everyone, and welcome to the Sidebar Cantina, the podcast where we talk about podcast, pop culture. Wait, Star Wars, pop culture. Why did I say podcasts?
I don't know.
Star Wars, pop culture, or whatever the fuck we feel like talking about.
It's because I made you sit here for 20 minutes trying to entertain people.
That is true. Yeah, now my flow is all off. But I am Mr. Jason Roscom. With me here each and every single week, the Vito to my Mikey, Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
Why am I Vito?
You're the Godfather.
But I'm not Vito. Why would I be Vito?
I don't know.
Do you even know who Vito is?
He's the Godfather. Vito Corleone?
Okay. All right.
Did you watch the movie?
Obviously not.
So anyway, how are you?
I am fucking... I'm here and I'm ready. I'm ready to fucking go.
All right.
So let's do it.
Yeah, what are we talking about today, by the way?
I think today, what this day is, which is the 28th
Yeah.
of March, which I believe is my father's birthday. So happy birthday, Dad.
Oh.
I just
One-
remembered that.
One father having a birthday, one father
Jesus
having heart surgery.
Christ.
It's a big day for our dads.
Jesus Christ. I literally...
Are you sending him a birthday text right now?
Yeah.
You're watching it live, folks, and this is how we do it.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
I'm sitting here recording the podcast and realized that when I said the date that today is your birthday.
This is Dave
Happy-
sending the happy late birthday text to his father, live on the air. It's all right. Truncate silence will take out a lot of this.
Whew. Jesus. Dude, my brain is fucking mush.
Is that?
So today, March 28th,
Mhm.
of 2022, is
Yes.
the 50th anniversary of The Godfather.
Is it today?
I thought it was today. I thought that was the whole, like, hey, on this day, we're like, it worked out that we were doing it this day because it was like right on the 50th anniversary.
It was 4 days ago, but we're close.
God damn it, Jason.
I'm sorry.
Could have just went with it. You could have
I could have, but then they would have noticed in the chat and they would have lambasted us. So
We're doing The Godfather, okay? We're doing the fucking Godfather.
yes, 50 years old this
50.
week.
50.
Yeah.
1972 was 50 years ago.
And one of us had never seen it before this weekend.
You were that person.
I am that person, yes. So we will talk about it.
Yes.
What my reaction to seeing this 50-year-old movie for the first time is. And yeah, what we think about it. And careful, you're going to get us a copyright strike.
Yeah, no, not with my fucking voice.
So, do we want to talk about Patreon real quick?
Yes, you can talk about Patreon.
All right. If you're enjoying the Sidebar Cantina's content, consider becoming one of our Patreon supporters. For as little as $1 a month, you can support this podcast and help to make it possible for us to continue to bring you quality content week after week. We'd like to give a huge shout out to our current patrons, Shotgun Mark, Frank Kolovic, Frederick Martin, Lord Helmet Fire, Scott and Kim from Used and Abused, Ivo G, Kristen Roscom, Nick from Swede Studios, Catherine Rennick, my wonderful mother-in-law, Patricia Goodstein, Don Solsky, Nick Schaefer, David Schmuck, General Chenobi, Wally Frogmore, Tony Ferrari, and our latest patron, brand new this week, Brady Big Lovin'.
Woohoo!
We appreciate each and every one of you. If you'd like to consider becoming a supporter, you can find us at patreon.com/thesidebarcantina. Our Patreon page is a great place to give us your opinions regarding show topics and the direction of the podcast in general. Last week, we ran a poll asking what type of topic you'd like us to be covering next. Music was the winning category. We will whittle that down to a specific band or genre in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, mark your calendars for next week, April 4th, for the Sidebar Cantina's long-awaited Music of 1993 episode.
Yes.
Speaking of polls,
So smooth.
you can head on over to our Patreon page right now and check out our latest poll. This week, we are giving our patrons the unprecedented power to decide how I, Mr. Roscom, will style my hair. Grow it or shave it, make your voice heard. Again, you can follow us at patreon.com/thesidebarcantina. Thank you again to all of our listeners and supporters, and you are the reason why we do this. And that's the end of that chapter.
So Wally Frogmore is in the chat.
Oh, sweet. He's never in the chat.
He's never in the chat. And then so he shouts out to Joker Voice. Hello, everyone in the chat, by the way.
Yes.
If you're not following us on YouTube on a weekly basis to see the shenanigans, to view the sacred pops,
Sacred Jedi pops.
you're missing out. You're missing out on the chat because that's where the fun's at.
Indeed.
Chat, that's where the fun's at. See what I just did there?
It's good.
Professional. Anyway, Wally says that he was. What I read was I was 14 when this movie came out. And I'm like, there's no fucking way that Wally is public math, right?
Right.
66 years old.
Right.
Or no, 64 years old. I'm like, then I realized it's negative 14.
Right.
It's minus 14. So reading is fundamental. And I'm just gonna sit over here and do my Red 5 read.
All right. What do you got for Red 5?
That's a good straw. It's a good straw right there.
Mm-hmm.
We got a huge shout out to Brad, Chantal, and Ro from the Scarab Scuttlebutt podcast, who will be recording their 100th episode this week.
Very
Congratulations, you guys. Look for the 100th episode to drop Thursday on your favorite podcasting app. 100.
100. A lot of people celebrating 100.
It's
a big accomplishment to make it that far.
It really is.
Because
I know
thousands and thousands of podcasts start up and never even get close to 100 episodes.
Right. It's a big deal. It really is. I think we the proverbial kind of make it look easy sometimes, but getting to that many, hitting the century mark especially, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work that goes into it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for the people that are actually making it happen as opposed to the fucking on-air talent. So, congrats, guys. And yeah, we'll be looking forward to that on Thursday on your favorite podcasting app. And we'll talk more Red 5 at the end of the show.
All right. We do a segment on the show called This or That, where our social media director, Luna Girl, puts up a poll on our Instagram. And what is her Instagram, Dave?
At the Sidebar Cantina.
She gives you two options, and you select one of the options. We go over the results here on the show. Obviously, talking about Godfather, mob movie. The theme of This or That this week is mobster movies, whatever the fuck you want to call them. And let's just get it started. We've got Hoffa versus the Untouchables.
Untouchables.
Yes, 95% of people said Untouchables.
Untouchables is a great fucking movie.
So
You've never seen The Untouchables?
I didn't vote for this one because I have seen neither flick. So this is a thing. Okay, stop. You're the guy who doesn't like horror. I'm the guy that just never got into mobster movies. So you can sit there and you can judge all you want, but I can talk about horror movies all day that you can't even speak shit to. So don't get me started on that. Everybody's got their genre that they're just not big on. And it's not that I actively dislike these. It's just they were never that interesting.
See, now I didn't have to say a word. You just immediately went into defense You know what that means?
No.
You know that you're wrong.
I rarely admit that I'm wrong, and I certainly will not do that now. So the next question was,
You should watch The Untouchables.
Uh,
Well, we'll see. We'll see by the end of this. We'll see how you gauge the Godfather, and then we'll talk about whether or not
Okay,
you should watch his other movies.
that's fair. Your go-to of our generation, Casino versus Goodfellas. I have actually seen both of these movies.
Yes, of course you have, because Casino had
Sharon Stone.
Sharon Stone in it,
Mhm.
which that's why most people probably watch.
She was at the height of her leg spreading. So
Yeah. This was a tough one.
yeah,
This really was.
I went with Casino. I recall enjoying that a lot more than Goodfellas.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I forget which one I picked, but it was a coin flip for me. I really liked both of these movies.
Okay.
I probably would lean more towards Goodfellas, but they're both really good movies.
Yeah, Goodfellas won 71% to 29%.
And listen, how you're like not into this genre of movie. I'm not huge into the mob movies either. Like, these are just movies that, for whatever reason, I've watched and enjoyed. Like, I don't know if it's maybe just this level of violence that I appreciated.
Right.
I mean, I
I don't know. Casino was the scene that where they beat that dude to death with baseball bats. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
And then dropped him in that ditch.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucked up.
Fucking great.
Yeah. Anywho, Goodfellas won 71% to 29%. Mob comedy. Never seen either of these. Oscar, the Sylvester Stallone movie, or Corky Romano with that guy from SNL.
I liked Oscar better than the Corky Romano.
Okay. Again, never seen either of these, but Corky actually won 61% to 39%.
So if I was going to pick out of these two, or I would add the movie that had John Travolta in it. It was John Travolta, who was a mobster. That was interacting with like Gene Hackman.
Oh, that was a fucking great. Get Shorty.
Get Shorty.
That was a great fucking movie. I love that movie.
That was a great movie. Probably not why you can't include it, because Corky Romano is a fucking piece of absolute shit.
Right.
And Oscar's not much better compared to how good Get Shorty was, but
Yeah.
that Get Shorty was a classic.
Yeah, apparently there was a sequel to that I never saw, but
I would not want to see a sequel to that either. Was it Rene Russo was in Get Shorty too, right?
yeah.
I love Rene Russo.
Oh, do you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we'll have to delve into that at some point. Favorite Tarantino flick? I mean, it's Reservoir Dogs versus Pulp Fiction, but how can you vote against Pulp Fiction? Honestly.
See, and this is again, I don't think this is very fair.
Well, yeah, because Pulp Fiction is not I mean, there's a lot of like mobster elements in it when you talk about Ving Rhames and
Yeah, but
like,
I don't
his
even.
thing.
I think it's very
Marcellus
debatable.
Wallace.
I don't think that.
That's pride fucking with you. Fuck pride.
I don't know. Yeah, there's mob elements to it, but you can't. For me, Reservoir Dogs is so gritty.
Oh yeah, it's
so much fucking darker and grittier compared to Pulp Fiction. But Pulp Fiction is a fucking classic.
Yeah.
You can't vote against it.
Yeah, but no, and I can definitely see the argument for Reservoir Dogs. Reservoir Dogs is a great fucking movie.
Yeah,
but I would take Pulp Fiction over that in any poll,
you'd have
any
to.
day.
Yeah. So small.
So smooth.
And last one, your Al Pacino classic, Donnie Brasco versus Scarface.
I'm going to have an unpopular opinion, and I did not like Scarface.
Really?
Yeah, was not into it. I thought Donnie Brasco was actually a better movie than Scarface.
Yeah, that is an opinion. Well, the masses think Scarface was better, 73% to 27%.
I think the masses were more into the idea of what Scarface was.
Mm-hmm.
I think
it's a more iconic movie. Like, more people know of it.
Exactly.
Even if they've never seen it, like some people on the show. They at least know a lot of it. They know a lot of the quotes from it.
Right.
And it's got Michelle Pfeiffer in it. I mean,
yeah.
You know.
That's fine. I don't know.
All right, fair enough. I don't believe... Nope, no Twitter poll, so that was this or that. So thank you again to Lunar Girl. And one last time, what is our Instagram, Dave?
At the Sidebar Cantina.
Excellent. Got a bit of Star Wars news to
We
talk
do?
about before we get into our
Oh
weeks.
shit! I was so excited to talk about this.
Though you actually put it in after our weeks, I figure we might as well talk about it now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, so a new book was announced, and they actually released an excerpt from the book with this announcement, and this is Star Wars: Shadow of the Sith.
Yeah, I think I posted it on our Discord thing. I'll be 100% honest with you. I have not been on social media like at all. Like I know you said you had posted something and there was stuff going on Patreon, and I haven't been. I just haven't been on social media.
Yeah,
a little bit on Discord, or a little bit of Discord, and a little bit on Instagram. Excuse me, mainly to look at reels while I'm taking a shit, but I just haven't been on social media, so I've been missing out on a lot of stuff. But I stumbled across the Star Wars announcement for this book, and the excerpt,
and I didn't even know about it until you texted me.
Yeah, and I missed it. I was like 16. It was 16 hours old when I saw it, so I'm surprised I was, excuse me, one of the first people to post about it in the Discord, at least.
Yeah.
I'm super fucking excited. Like, it is, for those of you who haven't seen it, right? It's Shadow of the Sith. It takes place in between,
Jedi and the Force Awakens, basically.
Yes.
Or Mandalorian and the Force Awakens.
Right. It's that period of time where Luke is.
He's not a hermit yet.
Yeah, he hasn't gone to Luke Island yet, and he's still, kind of finding his way. And there's within the excerpt, you're getting this glimpse of what Luke is really. He's discovered he's super powerful, but he's still there. Like these elements that they're kind of teased to, and I don't know. I'm fascinated. Yeah. I genuinely did not think that I really cared about another part of the Skywalker story.
Yeah.
And then I read this excerpt, and I'm like, I'm intrigued. I want this book in my hot little hand right now.
It definitely got my attention, and like this is the most I've been excited about a Star Wars novel in quite some time. So yeah, I would definitely be willing to take a look at this. It deals with a lot of things that were introduced in Rise of Skywalker, the Aki of Bastoon, the planet Exegol.
Right.
Like Luke's kind of looking for that, or he's doing something.
Yeah, and he's the flow walking, this element where kind of what he was doing with force projecting.
Yep.
Or force projecting, I guess I should call it. Flow walking is more Legends material, but
yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited, dude. It comes out in June, I think. June 22nd, I think was the date. I've already pre-ordered it.
Oh shit.
Via Amazon, so I'm super stoked to add this to the.
Hold on. I was on the wrong page.
The sacred Jedi text.
Thank you.
And
Jesus.
It also Lando Calrissian is also a big part of the story.
Which they don't mention him at all in the excerpt, but yeah, I'm super excited. Like you said, I have the second High Republic book, like the physical copy of it that I just haven't. You didn't even read the first one, so
no, and I never will. So fuck him.
Yeah, I just haven't. Well, we'll get to it in my week. I don't have fucking time to read right now. I don't have any time to do any fucking recreational reading.
All right, fair enough. So should we hop right into our weeks?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go to one of our weeks.
All right, so I only got a couple things. First of all, I watched that new Halo TV show that came out last week on it's a Paramount Plus exclusive.
Okay.
The live action Halo TV show that's been in development forever.
Right.
I think fucking Spielberg and his Amblin Entertainment, they bought the rights to it like a fucking decade ago. There was talk of a movie and then TV show, and it's been in all kinds of different phases of production.
Right.
They finally got it out as a show, and the first episode came out last week. It's not good. Yeah, it was super disappointing. And I know I've talked about my son Ben, who's a freaking Halo nut right now. He is all about Halo. Anytime he and I talk, it's always about Halo. He's talking about like some of the backstory of the games, or all kinds of different things. Fucking Halo nut. He's watching it with me. Didn't like it. So again, this was only one episode that we watched. It could potentially get better, but I am not hopeful at this point. Shitty writing, shitty acting, and it's. I don't want to be that guy, but it's Hollywood 2022, so they have to have the most diverse cast ever. And if you don't, then you get lambasted for it, right? which is fine. I have no issue with that. But I do have an issue with people who don't speak very good English being cast in a prominent role. Because the lady that they cast is like the president of, you know, the United States of space or whatever. I think she's Middle Eastern. Such a thick accent. I don't know what the fuck she's saying. Like at first I thought like she's speaking a different language and I'm going to see subtitles in a minute, but no, she's speaking some form of English that apparently they use in the future that 2022 humans can't quite understand. So that like took me out of the show. This fucking girl that they have to be his sidekick, because first of all, they're making it like the Mandalorian. Like it's very heavily influenced by Mandalorian, you can tell, because he's Master Chief with the fucking helmet and he talks all sternly and he doesn't move a lot and all this. And then he's got this little fucking sidekick chick that, you know, he rescued from some fucking planet. She's the most annoying fucking character. I don't even think it's the character. I think it's the actress. I think she's just a bad actress. And like, I want to shoot her in the face every time she's on screen. So yeah, no, it's like super annoying. Don't like it. And I'll probably watch the second, maybe third episodes, but if they follow along the same, vein as the first one, then I'll be out. It wasn't good.
I'm so glad. I'm just glad
About
this did not need to be made. It just didn't need to be made. Like even the little bit of Halo that I have played, right? And it does have this like this backstory, and it's plenty for the video game.
it's a pretty good universe they could have pulled the content from.
But why? Like there wasn't, honestly, there wasn't a void that like, okay, here's what this audience really needed, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
were they just looking at like, oh, here's Xbox numbers, here's Halo numbers, we're going to get those numbers because we're slap Halo on it, so we're getting all these fucking video gamers that are going to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe for the first show, but they're going to have your reaction. They're going to like, this fucking blows, and they're not going to watch anymore.
Think about it like this. What are we talking about today? The Godfather, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, The Godfather was based off of a book, a very popular book that it came out like 3 years before the movie came out.
Right.
So the book came out, was very popular. Hollywood immediately scoops it up, and then makes the movie out of it. Same kind of concept now, just a new medium, right? So now it's hugely popular video game. Hollywood's like, oh, we got to scoop this up and make something out of it, because that's what Hollywood does. They don't have original ideas. They just want to take existing IPs from other media and just throw it on screen and rake their millions.
I agree with Wally. You take a video game and you turn it into a movie. It better be good. It better be really, really fucking good and engaging, and it better have enough cinematic cuts in it that it makes sense that it would be a movie or a show or something like that.
Yeah.
I looked at the trailer. I was like, I have zero desire to fucking see this. Like I'm a Star Wars fan. Like if I want this type of fucking content, I'm going to watch Star Wars.
Well, I think there's room in some people's lives for more than just Star Wars, but it's got to be good stuff. This is not good.
Not this guy.
So
This
if
guy,
you
see this guy? Not this guy.
yeah, if you haven't seen it yet and you were on the fence, don't bother. Otherwise, the only
Take that fence and stick it right up your ass.
speaking of the absurdness of Hollywood, let's just really quick talk about the slap heard round the world.
5 fingers say to the face.
And I have a theory on this. I think it was all staged.
Yeah.
I do.
You're not the only one.
Because here's the deal. The Oscars every single year sets a new record for low viewership, right? Their viewership has been tumbling quite a bit over the last decade.
Right.
You know, because most people don't want to see a bunch of celebrities get on stage, patting themselves on the back, saying how much better they are than us, and then lecturing us on fucking global warming and all that while they go get in their private jets and go off to their next movie set. Nobody gives a fuck about that shit anymore. And their numbers have been dwindling.
Matt Damon.
So I'm telling you right now, I'm predicting that next year, about 2 weeks before the Oscars airs, you're going to see this video getting played over and over again with taglines like tune into the Oscars, you'll never know what's going to happen, or it's unpredictable. And this is just them planting the seeds of trying to get viewership back up because it's live TV. You never know what's going to happen. And I think they're just going to use it as a promotional bit to get people to tune in the future. And again, this is just Jason's opinion, but I also think the one clear indication, if this truly was staged, another thing that you're going to see is you're going to see a whole bunch of headlines in the news over the next month or so about it's time comedians had a reckoning and they should know that their words are hurtful and they can't just say whatever they want in the name of comedy and blah, 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 blah. You're going to see headlines like that all over the place over the next month because I follow the left very closely and I know the kind of bullshit that they pull and I see the patterns in the way that they do things. And I guarantee you, because they've been after comedians for a long time now, and I think this is going to be the start of them, starting their new attack wave on comedians. It's like comedians can't just say whatever they want because it's comedy. It hurts people's feelings. And just watch.
That's an interesting point. I hadn't thought of that.
Oh yeah.
But,
They've been going after comedians. Look at everything they've done with Chappelle.
Well, I think
over
about
the last
Ricky
few
Gervais.
years. Yeah, Ricky Gervais.
How Ricky Gervais just fucking shits right into their Cheerios,
Mhm.
and I love it.
Yeah,
because that's reality. Like he tells it like it is, and he's benefited from it. But he knows this is a job. But all you people are delusional.
Yeah.
It takes a particular type of psychosis to even get to those positions and be able to, I guess, be an actor, and especially to rise to that level.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I think. I think, while I don't necessarily think that the slap was staged, I think that what should have happened was there should have been like a security action, or there should have been some separation. Instead, what happened was they allowed Will Smith to stay there and get his award.
Yeah.
By doing that, now what you've done is you said, okay, we allowed this assault to happen live in front of hundreds of thousands of people who are watching. And now it got on the internet with people who don't really give a shit about it. Suddenly we're like, wow, this Oscar suddenly got interesting. Turned it on. Now the fucking Nielsen ratings go whoop, fucking way to the right, because what the fuck is happening? Will Smith gets the Oscar and uses that to apologize. Apparently, I don't know. I really don't give a fuck. I really don't care. Do not care at all.
Well,
But-
I mean, it's the thing everybody's talking about. It just happened last night, so I figured we might as well address it.
No, 100%. But I think the reality is that what should have happened, whether you are in that camp of like, oh well, he was defending his wife's honor, blah 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 blah, like, you can't, in a civil society, you can't just walk up and fucking go assault somebody without some repercussion. Something has to happen. You can't just fucking go up, smack the shit out of somebody. I mean, it sounded pretty legit.
Yeah.
I mean, they're actors and whatnot, but Chris Rock is not he's not an action star. Like, taking a shot to the face is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But gets the shit slapped out of him. Will Smith goes back to his seat, curses at him from the fucking stage, right? Apparently, like Wally Frogmore, like the Aussie audience got the clean, uncut version of it and fucking immediately posted it on Twitter.
Nice.
Right? So not Wally himself, but the Australians were like, that's how you got the full, like, take your my wife's name out of your fucking mouth. Right? So there's this rhetoric of like he's just defending his wife's honor, but in reality, like, you just watched publicly this assault and just, all right, we're going to roll with it. And then this guy's going to get his award, and there's no security action, no like rush, no like move him off to the side. He gets to go back to his fucking seat, and because he's celebrities, now what? Now what do you do?
I mean, at this point, I really don't give a shit what happens to him at this point.
I agree. And even if there is something like, you have money, you're going to fucking get your way out of it, or Chris Rock doesn't press charges,
Which he
or
won't.
whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But this is, for as much shit as you give people for doing something benign, that are like, oh, well, this person's a role model, right? Here's this role model. Like we have to castrate this individual because look what they put on Twitter, or look what they did this. Look at the Gina
Right.
Carano's. Like this is what we're going to. This is where we're going to vilify you for.
Mm-hmm.
And yet then we're going to allow somebody to go up, assault somebody, in whatever level of violence that you deem is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
But to allow this to happen and then continue on like nothing happened.
Yeah.
I think that's I think that is fundamentally part of the problem. So now either you're at the academy and be like, yeah, the whole thing was staged. That's why there's no arrests. There's no anything, like it was, whatever. Or there'll be some, like Chris Rock decided not to press charges. Like something's going to have to come out of that.
Sure.
I know I saw across CNN or something because it was on the other side of the room, but something about how the academy had some fucking emergency meeting. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, really, ultimately, here's why I don't give a shit about any of these award shows or anything else. I have the internet. I can make an informed decision based on what my peers think of a movie or a show
Mm-hmm.
or an actor or an actress or whatever. I don't need to watch the trailer or determine by some award by their peers whether or not that's worthy of me watching it.
Sure. Yeah.
Back in the day, if they didn't get the Oscar or they didn't get an award, that's how people determined whether or not they were going to am I going to see this? Was this an Oscar-winning movie? Oh, it was an Oscar-winning movie. I'm going to go see it.
Yeah.
You don't have that anymore. That's why they're fucking in decline. Nobody gives a fuck. It's turned into, like, what's this idiot wearing? It's these, I'm with Entertainment Weekly, and I fucking worship the ground that these fucking celebrities walk on. Cool. Awesome. Buy your fucking Entertainment Weeklies, watch Entertainment Tonight, fucking live off of whatever the Kardashians or whatever other fuckheads are doing, and go live your life, do whatever. I don't really give a shit. But I don't want anything to do with it. But sir shit, don't fucking make it okay to like, I'm just gonna go commit a crime and have zero repercussions. No.
See that if this was legit, that aspect of it, I really don't care about whatsoever.
I do. I think that's you're talking about second and third order effects. There's too many fucking witnesses. Like if I legitimately, if I started beating you with a hammer, right? There's at least 11 witnesses to me fucking assaulting you with a fucking hammer, right?
Well, but that's a little bit different than just like somebody
Is it?
you just walking up and just like smacking me in the face one time.
Is it?
Yes, there's a big difference. At least to me. Maybe the law like treats them in the same category, but I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think the slap itself was that big of a deal if it was legit. I don't think it was legit though. I mean, I think he literally hit him, but I think Chris Rock knew it was coming. I think Will Smith knew he was going to do that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it was legit, but the reality, I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
I think
It generated a hell of a lot of memes today.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, the one I sent you, Helmet Fire had sent me, Lord Helmet Fire, apologies. The one he had sent me with now this is a story all about how his wife got dissed and he got clowned, and it only took a minute of him sitting there until he got up and slapped Chris Rock live on air.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
So, but yeah, you'll know it was staged if over the next month this generates a new wave of attacks on comedians, and then they use it for hype for next year's Oscars.
Yeah, fuck the Oscars. Boycott the Oscars. Do it. You know who needs to get up and do something about this? South Park.
Oh yeah,
South Park. I can't wait to see what South Park does.
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
That would be funny. But that's all for my week. So what you got?
Dude, I couldn't barely tell you which way was up because I started school this week.
Oh yeah,
and
the master's program.
Yeah, so was trying desperately to try and get my brain back into some sort of like school mode.
Mm-hmm.
And at work, it's been pretty bonkers. like just doing problem solving and doing some creative thinking and shit like that. So by the time I get home, my fucking brain is completely wrung out. It is not. I am not nearly as mentally spry as I used to be.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I only stop pushing until I fucking can't move anymore. And yeah, I haven't been sleeping great. So really, it's just been draining me this week. And you know what it is? It's just a matter of getting back into some battle rhythm with the fucking with schoolwork.
Yeah, I think once you get yourself into, like you said, get into some sort of routine, you'll get used to it.
I hope so. It's fucking it's not. I think I took getting my undergrad for granted how easy the work was. Like even this first week, like the expectation, I literally was halfway through a paper and then measured it against the rubric and was like, I'm not writing the right paper.
Oh,
I'm writing the wrong paper, and I had to basically throw it out and start over.
oof.
So I ended up turning in a paper at 10 o'clock last night, which I'm good at procrastinating. I know what I'm doing. I'm what you would call a professional, but there's procrastinating and then there's panic writing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I turned in a not my best work, and I'm upset about it. But it's yeah, it's gonna take me a minute. So like today is podcast day, so obviously I'm not gonna do any schoolwork today.
Mm-hmm.
And then, tomorrow I'll just be putting my face into it and doing the reading, because there's a fuck ton of reading and extra reading that's encouraged. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Like, it's encouraged to do this reading because the 800 word or more fucking paper you have to write weekly.
God damn.
Yeah, weekly. And then this journal thing you have to. Oh, dude, it's fucking. I'm just hoping that my brain, some elasticity in my brain, fucking, springs back so that I can manage all this. Otherwise, it'll be very, very interesting, because apparently, if I get anything less than a B, I get fucking kicked out of the program.
Wow.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. So that's fun.
Yeah. No, it doesn't sound fun at all.
Yeah,
Actually,
it's a lot more. It's a lot. Like I said, taking your undergrad for granted. But so that's been pretty much my fucking life this week. However, I did take some time to watch Villanova make it to the Final Four. I believe that last week I spoke of the bet that I had with
that's the
escape
one where
pod.
they throw the ball through the nets, right?
Right.
Okay.
Through that, it's like an orange hoop thing.
Yep.
Right.
Got it.
Right. Yeah. So the orange ball went through the hoop thing more times for Villanova than Michigan the other day.
Oh no, Michigan.
Yeah,
no.
Michigan lost. That
Sad
means
face.
Don has to buy a Sidebar Cantina T-shirt.
So it's not a total loss.
Right. So he gets to brandish a Sidebar Cantina T-shirt for his podcast, and I don't know how long it'll take for him to actually get it, but
Probably weeks.
But once he gets that, we'll look forward to seeing that, and hopefully he'll tell us when that's going to happen so that we can promote it.
Yes.
More than we usually do on the show. So there's that. That was to get into what they call the Elite Eight, and then they won again and made it to the Final Four. So it's kind of a big deal. It's a big deal for the school. My dad, my birthday boy, went to Villanova.
Mm-hmm.
Class of 74. So
74.
74. 2 short years after The Godfather. The Godfather? The Godfather came out.
Yes.
But yeah, it's no, it's fun. It's something to look at that doesn't involve fucking death and destruction in Eastern Europe on television.
Mhm.
So and doesn't involve me writing a paper. But there's a lot of squeaking. A lot of squeaky fucking sneakers. Squeaky. So
yeah.
So I'm looking forward to let's everybody within my voice, repeat after me. Fuck Coach K. Fuck Duke. And go Nova.
Duke, they like make this every year, don't they?
No.
They did back in the 90s though, right? Because I had a buddy in high school who like always talked about Duke because they were like always winning the Final Four or some shit.
It's fucking Duke and Notre Dame bandwagon fans are just the absolute worst.
Yeah.
The absolute worst. I can't wait till Coach K, like, this is his last, it's like his last thing. He's like his retirement send off. So everyone's like, oh, look how great today, blah, 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 blah. Like, I can't wait till he retires and Duke doesn't do a goddamn thing for the next fucking decade. It's going to be the fucking greatest. Anyway, that's all I had for my week.
All right. Do you need a break or anything?
No,
before
I'm
we
good. I
get
peed
into-
before we started.
Okay. I may have to halfway through the main topic, but
Well, I mean, that would be appropriate because much like the movie itself, the main topic could go long.
It's so smooth.
so yeah, let's talk about The Godfather then. Released March 24th, 1972. So yeah, it just crossed its 50th anniversary. I've always known of this movie, right?
Who hasn't?
Right, exactly. You know, it's ingrained in our pop culture, but I never understood until I started researching this how popular of a movie it was. When it first came out, it made like $275 million at the box office, which by today's standards, you're like, oh, that's not a whole lot. That was a shitload of money back then. That was like close to Star Wars numbers before Star Wars was a thing. And for a while, this was actually the highest grossing movie of all time.
Right.
I think it was quickly surpassed by Jaws, which was quickly surpassed by Star Wars after that. But still, for a time, it was the highest grossing movie of all time because it was that fucking popular. I saw like a lot of these old documentaries from 72 where people are lined up around the block to fucking see this movie. So there was a shitload of hype even before it came out. And I think a lot of it had to do with like Marlon Brando because he was a pretty popular actor already at this point. And just, yeah, the Hollywood hype machine really getting people into it. And yeah, it fucking exploded. And I'm sure, you know, word of mouth was huge because back then you didn't have the internet and a lot of things.
It's stuff that would come out in newspapers and, and word, like you said, like word of mouth.
Yeah. And 275 mil in 1972 is a lot of fucking money. I wanted to look up the adjusted for inflation box office. In fact, I'm gonna, you know what we're gonna do?
Well, do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
No, Wally, we do not have a That's What She Said audio drop on the board, but we should probably get one.
Yeah, for sure. So pulling up the top lifetime adjusted grosses, Gone with the Wind still number one from 1939. It's always been number one. Star Wars is not that far behind it. Not seeing The Godfather anywhere in here. Oh wow, this is actually kind of surprising. I assumed it'd be in like the top 10.
Well, it's box office, right?
Yeah, but again, this is adjusted for inflation, so it made a shitload of money back then. So I just kind of assumed it would be towards the top. Let me just do a Control F. Godfather. Okay, number 25 all-time movie adjusted for inflation.
Still pretty good.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
So yeah, very popular.
It was a popular movie. It's still a popular movie. I mean, let's not get it twisted.
Right, exactly. Because we were just talking about the Oscars were last night. They did a tribute to The Godfather during the Oscars last night for its 50th anniversary. Francis Ford Coppola, who's still alive, was up there. Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, who at first I'm watching this, I'm like, De Niro? He wasn't in The Godfather. Apparently he's a big part of The Godfather Part 2, which I had no idea. So
yeah,
more to follow on that.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. So, yeah, as I said, first time I have ever seen this movie was this weekend. We split it over 2 days, watched it, half of it Saturday night, half of it last night, Sunday night. Me and Kristen, she had never seen it before either. I don't think I've even seen a single scene from this movie, but I know a lot of the references, a lot of the lines of dialogue.
Right.
So a lot of it was familiar, but essentially I went into this thing cold. Like I had no idea what this was going to be about. For the first 20 minutes, I thought this whole fucking movie was going to take place at that wedding at the start. Like I looked over at Kristen. I'm like, is this whole movie during this wedding?
Right.
Like, is this the time frame that this all takes place? Because I didn't fucking know. So,
And the wedding seems like it takes fucking forever.
Yeah.
Like
but it wasn't a bad thing either.
I don't remember, like, while I'm watching it, I'm like, God damn, I don't remember the wedding scene taking this fucking long.
Yeah. But it's good because it sets up the rest of the movie. And I honestly thought that the way this movie opened was fantastic, where, you know, it starts off with him sitting in his office, even though the wedding's commencing or the party, you know, or the guests are gathering and all that, and he's sitting up in his fucking office. Everybody's kissing his ass and asking for favors and all this, and
because he can't say no on the day of his daughter's wedding,
right? You know, and he's being very benevolent and like granting all these people their wishes and all that, and it just I thought it was a good way to open the movie. So yeah, so I really enjoyed that part. Now, we go into our history a little bit when we talk about movies. Now, I have no history, but like I said, I had never seen a single scene of this, but I know of it, and I had a feeling Brando was going to die in this, The Godfather, Vito Corleone, because I knew Brando wasn't in the sequel. So I'm like, okay, he probably dies during the course of this fucking movie. But I knew so many references and so many things that happen. One little reference that this is so funny because do you remember the movie The Dream Team from like 1990 starring Michael Keaton, the dad from Everybody Loves Raymond, the fat guy from Animal House, and Christopher Lloyd? They were 4 mental patients from northern New Jersey, from Trenton, New Jersey, who went on a road trip with their doctor. They were going to go see a Yankees baseball game. And like their fucking doctor, like they stopped to take a piss. The doctor got beat up by some fucking gangsters. And then it's these 4 guys, these 4 mental patients roaming around New York City, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't think I saw it.
Anyway, the whole reason I loved that fucking movie. It came out like 89, 90, somewhere around there.
Shit.
I fucking love that movie. And it had a reference in there where they're in the mental ward in the beginning of the movie. And Michael Keaton's, you know, talking about, I got to get the fuck out of this place. You know, there's no women around here. And he's like, well, you got Nurse Smith or whatever. And he's like, she looks like Luca Brasi. And, you know, it was one of those moments where you could tell he was making a joke. He'd like, yeah, Nurse Smith looks like Luca Brasi. You know, I got to get out of here. There's no women around here. And it's one of those moments where I always, that line stuck with me.
Right.
But I had no fucking idea what the hell he was talking about until last night when we saw The Godfather. I'm like, oh, that 32-year-old joke finally makes sense. So, but that's the thing. So much of The Godfather is just like imprinted everywhere in pop culture, especially in the movies and TV. Like there's tons of Godfather references in like The Simpsons and
so the biggest thing to me is how foundational The Godfather is to so many other movies, like we were talking about with This or That.
Yeah.
You know, when you think of The Untouchables, Casino, Scarface, there, without The Godfather having laid this foundation for what this, you know, New York mob movie was going to be like, I don't think that those other movies have the level of success that they do. And what the stereotype of the New York mobster is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like we don't, like without The Godfather, do you know what a New York mobster is? You know, who?
Yeah.
Probably not, right? It's just you're not able to make this fucking connection.
Mm-hmm.
But The Godfather's the one that kind of starts all that.
Sure, yeah. So what about you? Any history, any memories of when you first saw this movie?
Dude, like, I wrote in a note. I was like, the fuck if I remember. It was one of those movies that was on a lot. I remember catching pieces of it on HBO. You know,
and that could be the thing. Remember, we've talked about this multiple times over the course of the podcast. You had HBO, I had the movie channel. This was never a movie that was on the movie channel.
No,
so
it was definitely an HBO joint.
Yeah.
And it had been on TV a handful of times too, but it was very truncated for television.
Oh, I would imagine they would have to edit the shit out of this for syndicated TV.
What's funny is like one of the notes that I took, they were talking about in '74, the film premiered on NBC. Like, so before I get to that, how did you watch it?
We
You had a copy.
We
of
had
it.
a copy of the movie and
All right.
we watched it.
So I rented it over Amazon.
Okay.
Right. Amazon has that like X-ray thing where it'll like drop like trivia things and stuff off the
Oh
side.
yeah.
So I was watching it through Amazon, and like one of the first things before I shut it off, because subtitles and shit like that annoy me. Like if I wanted to read, I'd read the book. I don't. If I'm gonna watch something, I just want to watch it. And then even more annoying, there was scenes when they were speaking Italian and the subtitles weren't up there. I'm like, what the fuck?
So okay, so that happened to us. The first movie that we acquired, no subtitles for the Italy part. Like I'm watching this, I'm like, are we just supposed to kind of, based on their gestures and the ba-ba-dee-bee-ba-da-ba-boo-ba-da, try to figure out what the fuck they're saying or what? But no, apparently it's supposed to have subtitles in the Italian part. So we acquired another different copy of the movie, and that one had the subtitles.
So I think where the Amazon one didn't have subtitles was in the where Mikey caps the cop.
Oh yeah. The version we had didn't have subtitles for that.
Yeah,
either.
so it may not have had them.
Right.
Like that might have been part of the movie.
Yeah, I don't think it was supposed to have it for that scene because we did research. Because after this, this happened, we're like, were we supposed to see what the fuck they were saying to each other?
Right.
At that point, which no, as an audience who doesn't speak Italian, you weren't supposed to know what they were talking about.
And listen, Lunar Girl. First of all, this movie plays on Italian stereotypes, like huge.
Yeah, you
Huge.
can't love this movie and then not at least chuckle at some stereotypes.
Yeah, there's you. So, come on.
And did the older brother not go, and then bada bing, you shoot him in the
Yes.
head? Is that not literally what he said?
Yeah, I mean, and then
Don't tell me Italians don't talk like
the
that.
Sopranos get that from the fucking, it's like this is the gestation for all of that fucking stereotype. So forgive us, Irishmen, for fucking.
Don't forgive me because I don't care.
Yeah, I'll hit you with a hammer. I will hit you with a hammer. Anyway, yeah, so the Amazon with the X-ray thing, it came up right in the beginning. It said in 1974 the film premiered on NBC for 2 nights. Or it premiered over 2 nights, so kind of like how you watched it.
Yeah.
Saturday, November 16th, and Monday, November 18th from 9 to 11.
Oh, because I guess Sunday's the Lord's Day, and they didn't want to
I
play
guess.
it on Sunday.
Both nights at 11 p.m., New York City's municipal water authorities had some overflow problems from all the toilets flushing around the same time. So, like, everyone who was watching it from 9 to 11, they all went to the bathroom after 11 o'clock at the same time.
Oh, wow. Or like during the commercial breaks or something?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, if they didn't show it with commercials, they basically sat there for 2 hours.
Now, was it an edited version still, or did they like play it raw?
It didn't say.
Did they?
Well, do it live. Fuck it.
I would
Do it
imagine
live.
it's NBC even in the 70s before 11 o'clock. I would imagine that it was edited somewhat. There was no
Yeah.
tits. They probably edited out the cursing.
Yeah.
But the other stuff, probably the violent stuff, they probably still had in there.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, and I would imagine it probably made it to syndicated TV at some point in the 80s, probably, but you would have had to cut so much out of this. A lot of violence, a lot of language.
Well, here's the thing, like just an overall impression. There's violence, but this wasn't as violent as I remember it.
No, and because I think we talked about like some of these other mobster movies have gone, way over the top with some of the deaths and everything that make the Godfather kind of look tame by today's standards. But I mean, I can tell you, like when Sonny got killed, when they gunned down Sonny at the fucking toll booth,
Right.
that was pretty graphic because of the way that they made those effects and everything. They like put like hundreds of those little like fucking these
Squibs.
little that fucking popped out of him and made it look like he was getting riddled with fucking bullets.
Yeah, we alluded to it before, and we're kind of jumping ahead, but James Caan is in that. We talked about that off air. I'm saying like, oh yeah, we talked about it before. Like that was before we were on air. We watched there was like a 10-minute video that I think ABC had done, or like a little making of, for the 50th. And they had James Caan on, and he was talking about how he had like 150 squibs on him.
Yeah.
And there was like thousands of them total, like because they were all in a toll booth and everything else, and they're all kind of going off, and it was fucking terrifying because there's just so many of them.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, and what happens if you don't do it in one take? Like, oh shit. Like,
Yeah, so we'll see you tomorrow
Yeah.
for take 2.
Yeah, don't fuck it up.
Right.
God damn. Yeah. So what's the? How do you want to do this?
So
Oh, by the way, Sidebar Cantina is live.
Oh.
I just got notified.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Thanks, YouTube. So I did not take my notes in like a sequential order this time. Like I don't think we need to go like
Okay.
you know, scene by scene or part by part. I had a few things that I wanted to talk about, like a few.
I actually have fucking notes. Look
Oh.
at me. I actually have fucking notes, Jason.
Well, that's good. So, I mean, do you want to start with some of yours?
I no, not really, but I actually have fucking notes.
Well, that's good. I'm proud of you.
You should be.
You're growing up.
I brought it out.
All right, very good.
I won't have them for next time.
So, why don't we talk overall impressions first? Because
Okay.
Kristen and I, again, watched it for the first time this weekend, never seen it before. We both enjoyed it. I think she liked it more than I did. I didn't dislike it at all. What I think I'm going to have to do is, if I sort of want to appreciate this, I'm going to have to watch it 1 or 2 more times. Because here's the thing. Going into this thing fresh, having no prior knowledge whatsoever, never read the book, didn't know who any of these fucking characters were outside of Marlon Brando as the Godfather. You're being like fucking just inundated with all these different names. You got these 5 families, and then you've got all these fucking cronies from all these families, and you've got a million fucking characters in this movie, and they all look and sound the same. So trying to piece together who the fuck is who's fucking who in the ass, and betraying who, and it's a lot of shit to wrap your brain around. By the end, I pretty much knew what the hell was going on, but it's a lot of like, okay, who's he again? And then when they start talking about somebody else who's not on screen at the time, like, who is that they're talking about again? It's
Yeah, it can get confusing, especially like when you're talking about the two there, because the Corleones are trying to figure out which of the 2 families is
the one
the
that,
mastermind behind, you know, trying to take out the Don,
yeah.
and then ultimately the ones who killed Sonny.
Yeah, and I have that written down somewhere.
I forget the names too.
Yeah.
But so for me, when you say that, for me, this was like super slow.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen it before.
So you're saying watching it this time around?
This time for me, it just felt slow.
It's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah. Well, I knew it was long. I knew it was a long movie.
Yeah.
But it just felt there was. I think I knew when certain points were going to come up, and I was anticipating those.
Mm-hmm.
So I think getting to those points, like, 'cause it took some time to get there.
Sure.
I was like more like, I just want to get this point to get there, you know, like I want it really, like, there was a couple of spots in the movie that I really super enjoyed, and there was a couple of them that were just like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna trudge through this.
Yeah, there's some parts that do run a little slow, but there's also parts where the dialogue and the performances they're captivating.
Yeah.
And just in, like, even the beginning, that opening scene at the wedding when all these guys are coming to Don Corleone, and they're kissing the ring, and they're
The wedding was too much wedding. Like, I wrote down, slow, felt like I was at the damn wedding.
right. Well, yeah, because it flashes between like the Don and then guests dancing at the wedding, or guests
Like,
coming in.
Oh, here's Mama Corleone, and she's gonna sing. Come on, sing. It's like,
Yeah.
no. Here's some other old guy's gonna sing, and then this other guy's
and then they're
sing.
gonna take a picture. It's like, oh no, Mikey's not here. We can't take the picture.
Right.
And
Which,
then
that makes total, like,
it does. But did we really need to see that? And then the camera keeps rolling for a while as they're all looking around, and
Right.
okay, well,
and then Johnny Fontana coming in, like that. There were parts of that where I think in today's movie pacing, there definitely would have been like,
oh sure,
we would have eliminated probably 10 minutes of that.
yeah. Well, I think also a big thing, you talk about the way movies are presented today versus this, the soundtrack, because what did we have? We basically had that one Godfather theme that would play like, I don't know, 5 times over the course of the movie, but nothing else. You didn't have like a constant soundtrack like movies have nowadays, where there's always something playing during these interludes. There's a lot in this movie. A lot of it's just silence as you see a bunch of guys getting out of their car and going into the hospital or something. Whereas in today's modern movies, there'd be a lot more production to that.
Yeah, you had cars driving. You had like trains in the background, kind of creating drama. Yeah, like that, like in the restaurant.
But I'm not saying that that's a bad thing for this movie. In fact, I think those probably add to the style of this flick. But it's very different from the way a movie would be made nowadays. Not to say that it's better or worse, but it's very different. And then like the pacing in the wedding in the beginning, definitely wouldn't flow well in today's movie environment. But I thought it was actually, watching it for the first time, I could see on subsequent viewings you being like, all right, let's get to it. But as somebody who's watching this for the first time, the wedding really helped kind of establish who a lot of these characters are and really help paint that picture for those of us who have no clue who the fuck any of these people are.
Yeah.
So,
and I think one of the good things too was when you had Mikey show up in uniform with fucking
Diane Keaton,
which what? All right, I don't know how old she is in this particular movie, right?
Well, we can find out really quick.
But as she aged, her eyes apparently got appropriately close together, because her eyes just seemed like they were super far apart. I don't like. I know I'm an asshole, but for fuck's sake, like that's the first thing. Maybe it was her eyebrows, something with her eyebrows or the makeup or whatever. But all I kept looking at her was like, I don't remember her eyes being that far apart.
She was born in 46, so she was 26 when this came out. Yes, because I can math. Yeah, so she was 26 when this came out.
So she was probably ostensibly 25 when it was like so.
So she's almost 80 now.
But it's like, am I wrong? I know I'm an asshole.
No,
but like, does it seem like it's?
It was Diane. You could tell it was Diane Keaton, but you could tell something was off.
Yeah, it was like this.
So
it had to have been something. There was something there. It's like, my thing in the note was, why are Diane Keaton's eyes so far apart? I mean, really.
She wasn't done growing yet. But see, that brings up a good point. And that's one of my first notes, actually, is as we're being introduced to all these characters, again, Jason Roskam in 2022, no idea who's in this movie outside of Marlon Brando and Al Pacino. So you see Diane Keaton walk up, I'm like, oh my God, that's Diane Keaton. Then you see fucking James Caan,
right?
Who, me and most of the people from Gen X know him from like Misery, couple other movies from like the 80s and 90s.
Right.
But like, I'm like, is that James Caan? He's got the full head of hair and like, wow. Robert Duvall, that we know from a shitload of other movies.
I mean, and honestly, probably, I will say overall, my favorite, I don't know if favorite's the right word, but who I thought the best acting job in this entire movie, or my favorite performance, I'll say, in this entire movie, was from Robert Duvall.
Yeah,
like, I think the way he played the character, especially like in times when perfect example, when he goes to the right before the fucking horsehead scene, right? He goes goes out west to fucking talk to the
Hollywood guy.
The Hollywood guy who's like,
it was like dead set against casting the singer.
Oh yeah, because fucking Joey Fontana apparently fucked with some broad that he was fucking with,
right,
ruined her. So now he blames the entire like fucking race of Italians for doing this. So so Joey Fontana will never be in this movie, right? So, and Robert Duvall the whole time's like just playing it straight. Like, thank you for this lovely dinner.
Yeah, never showed any emotion.
Yep, I need to get in a car. He played it like his I'll take this abuse because I know bad things are going to happen to you attitude. Right?
Right.
It's like, okay, you're going to be a dick. Thank you very much for your kind thing. I would, if you could drive me to the airport so I can go and deliver the bad news. And then, fucking 8 hours later, your prized fucking possession is now fucking
Now,
in bed with you.
the horse head. I always knew that that was a scene in this movie. I didn't know the context. I didn't know anything. But again, pop culture references and everything throughout the years, you know that there is a scene where a guy wakes up with a horse head in his bed. Now, I always envision, and it's funny because Kristen said the exact same thing that I thought about this was, I thought it was going to be a guy's like in bed and he rolls over and there's the fucking horse head like facing him. And it'd be like, that's not the way it played out at all versus what was in my head. With the fucking just like the blood under the blanket, then he lifts it up and there's the fucking horse head under the blanket, which, by the way, little fun trivia, that was a real horse's head that they put in there and they didn't tell the fucking actor.
So his reaction was real.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was just like, huh? Oh man.
Blood is so sticky.
Yeah.
Like, all right, this is going to sound really bad, but I'm watching this scene going, how sound do you have to fucking sleep?
To not notice them putting a fucking horse head in there?
Right. And you're rolling around in it to get all this fucking blood on you. Like, okay.
Maybe he was drugged at some point in the night.
Or you just got fucking liquored up and it's like, yeah, I got one over on that fucking Corleone asshole. Fucking got all liquored up, staggers into the bed, tossed around in the sheets. But I could just, like, when he's looking at his hands with the blood on it, I'm like, oh, it's going to be sticky. Like, that head's been in there for a minute.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like this. Like, I could feel the texture when he was touching it. Like, it's a very tactile thing. For a scene it's early in the movie and it's kind of not a throwaway scene, but it's very, I mean, obviously it has a huge impact in the movie to kind of tell, like, all right, here's cause and effect, right? You're gonna be a dick, and this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how visceral that was, it kind of caught me. I was like, oh wow, I could feel that.
Yeah.
In that moment. So it was that was
good filmmaking.
Yeah, it really was for a movie that, I mean, obviously it gets a lot of credit, right? It's The Godfather.
Yeah,
it gets a considerable amount of credit, but I don't know that it gets a credit for that necessarily.
Yeah, I could see that.
Anyway,
but again, we weren't really alive either when this first came out, so all of these conversations probably had been had before we were ever born. You know,
and they're watching it on fucking 16 millimeter in a fucking big screen at some point. You know?
Yeah. So who the hell knows? But again, I don't have notes in like sequential order for the movie, but I have some points I wanted to hit on. The main thing I wanted to take out of this was I love Mike's story arc throughout this whole thing. Like, I love how it started off because you mentioned he showed up in his uniform because it's basically implied that he fought in World War II because this is 1949, so we're hot off the heels of World War II. So it's kind of implied that he was a World War II war hero, basically.
Yeah.
And never really involved in the family business. They intentionally kept him out of it, which in the beginning, as I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, so he never really liked what was going on. You know, as he's explaining it to Diane Keaton, like he has the whole conversation. My father gave him an offer he couldn't refuse, right? That's a line that we hear multiple times throughout this movie.
Yep.
But you kind of get this feeling from that conversation that he's not really down with what they're doing. He's kind of doing his own thing. That's why he joined the military. You know, it seemed to me like he was sort of the guy on the outside. Like maybe he didn't quite fit in, so he just went off to do his own thing. Where as the movie progresses and you kind of come to realize that Vito seemed to really just be protecting him and didn't want him involved, right? Because thinking, okay, he's better than this. He can make his own life or whatever, and we don't need to drag him into this. Because you had that great scene where, you know, after they shot him, I think he had returned home from the hospital.
Yep.
And you know they're explaining to him like what the hell happened when Mike shot the two guys, and when the Don found out that it was Mikey that pulled the trigger, he was visibly upset, very upset. Even though he couldn't talk or anything, you could tell he was very upset. That,
it's right. It was right when they had brought him home.
Yeah, that you know,
because he was asking where Mikey was.
Yeah, and that's when you realize that he deeply cared about Mike, but he didn't want him involved in this this side of the family business. And unfortunately, he had kind of crossed that line at this point, which you kind of knew was going to happen. But I loved his whole story arc, Mike, though things did really slow down when he got to Italy.
See, so when he, well, Sicily, right? So they're in.
Oh, right.
They're in Sicily.
Yeah. I don't know the difference.
Yeah, it does slow down. I mean, he's obviously out there. This is where he's hiding, right? He's out there living his life. What I liked about him being out there was this is kind of where he understands the power of his name, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because he sees fucking hot broad. Hottest broad in this movie, by the way.
Oh, so see, that's the thing. So you know how last week when we were talking about Boat Trip, right? Me and Kristen, like, definitely agreed that dance instructor was like super fucking hot, no question. We kind of diverged on this, the fucking Italian bird. I didn't think she was that hot. She's probably still the best looking woman in this movie, but I'm looking at her, I'm like, I don't see what like all these people are ranting and raving over, where Kristen disagrees. She thinks she's fucking gorgeous. I'm just like, nah.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Okay, fair enough.
But he's, I love the line, like where he's sitting there and he's like, all right, here's the old man, and I'm going to sit here. I'm going to play it. I'm an American, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, whereas before he really wasn't. There were scenes in Italy, like as the American GIs were driving by. Remember,
hey,
like,
American GI,
right? But he was kind of off to the side. Like, I mean, he was a Marine,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So you would think that he would interact with them, and he didn't. He kind of hid from that,
right? Yeah, kept his head down.
Yeah. So, you know, he sits there. Now he identifies himself as an American to this guy, and he says he basically gives him an offer he can't refuse. Where he says, like, you can either, your daughter can either lose a father or you can gain a son. Basically, like, these are your options, right? Just let her. You know, I just want to meet her.
Yeah.
And you know, then it starts this whole thing where I think he sits there and realizes that this is like, I have this level of power.
Right.
This isn't just about me being a smooth guy, right? I'm just a smooth guy.
Right.
No, this is about like, this is power.
Yeah, and he's essentially saying, I'm taking your daughter one way or the other.
Right.
So
I'm going to use this level of power and how I'm interacting with people and you know, keeping, you know, his reputation up. It's not like he's being a total dick and, you know, shitting on everybody, but at the same time, it's like, hey, no, I want this and I'm going to make this happen, and you're going to enable it because it's in your best interest.
Yep.
And it kind of ferments this. And then that deal is sealed when they're like, okay, Sonny's dead. I'm going to go back to America. And she's like, I'm gonna drive the car. Yay.
Yeah.
Or however you say that in Goofy. And she fucking blows up in an obvious mannequin's like legs are hanging out of the fucking blown up car.
Yeah.
But okay, I'll be honest with you, I forgot how they got rid of that broad. I was like, man, this is gonna be, because I know
Boy, it's gonna be awkward when he gets back to America and his girlfriend's there.
Yeah,
you know?
I was like, man, I know he gets back with Diane Keaton. So what did they do with this broad? Boom! Oh, that's what I forgot. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, yeah. As soon as he crosses paths with that guy, and that guy gives him that weird look, I'm like, oh fuck, she's about to die. And then yeah, bam. And speaking of getting shit on, the chat is lambasting me for not thinking this woman was as attractive as the rest of the people. But to be fair, I actually do need new glasses. I went to the eye doctor last week, sidebar, and yeah, my prescription definitely changed. I need to get the progressive lenses,
yep,
like you were talking about. I ordered my new glasses; they're just not here yet. So maybe when I get my new my new spectacles,
yep, watch it again.
I'll watch it again, and then maybe I'll see what the rest of you are seeing.
As you will.
Okay, fair enough.
Trust us.
What else do I have? Sorry. So, more actors that I didn't realize were in this. Adrian is in this. 4 years before she was Adrian in Rocky.
Right.
So, did you know, though, that actress, her name is Talia something or other. She's Francis Ford Coppola's sister.
Right.
Also, the baby that's being baptized at the end, that is Sofia Coppola, his daughter.
Right.
Sofia Coppola, who is known for directing The Virgin Suicides and one of the greatest movies ever made, Lost in Translation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was her as a baby.
And that's why she gets an IMDb credit
Yeah. So it's
for
pretty,
being in it.
yeah.
As an infant.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Talia Shire, thank you. But yeah, no, I just thought that was an interesting.
Gomez Adams is in this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Which character?
He's so. Do you know when they're assassinating when Mikey comes home and as the Don he's like we're gonna kill basically all of the fucking the heads of the 5 families.
Yeah.
And they get the one guy stuck in the fucking turnstile.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Gomez Adams is the guy who fucking goes up and fucking shoots him in the turnstile.
I thought I recognized that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at him. I'm
You
like,
recognize him earlier. Like he was one of the guys that was kind of at the hacienda.
yeah, no, but his
That's
face looked
Spanish.
familiar. I'm like, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yep. I typed it out. Gomez Adams. I don't know
Nice.
what his real name is, but
Good catch. Who gives a shit? Yeah, no, that was good.
yeah. And one of the things that I took note of, and it is the, like you talk about Mikey's story arc.
Mhm.
You saw, I think you saw Pacino as an actor, right? Really change towards the end of
Yeah, yeah, drastic change in his
it
character.
was a maturation of like not just his character, but I think him as an actor.
yeah,
I felt like he just got better as the movie went on.
Mhm.
And maybe it's because it's 3 hours long and he just got older as the
Right.
movie went along.
Well, yeah, because it's supposed to take place over the course of several years.
Right. But I just, when he got into that role, like as being the Don,
Mhm.
right now he's the guy. It was like a switch went off.
Yeah.
And this is like Pacino at his, like, this is Pacino at his prime,
Mm-hmm.
right? Pre Scarface, because I think Scarface was too much. I think Scarface is just
It was very over the top from
over
what
the
I could
top,
tell.
for like I mean, and granted, there was piles of cocaine, so I guess that's promoting being over the top.
It's a hell of a drug.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. Speaking of which, so that's kind of the whole crux of the story in this movie is,
Right.
the crime families are going along doing their business. They'd had wars in the past, but they're at a peace until they want to start introducing narcotics into the fold. Because before that, it was all about gambling, alcohol, and women, right? Casinos, booze, and prostitution, I guess. So, the legit businesses that they could still, scrape money off of. The politicians weren't going to get in their shit. But, the Godfather knew that if they started getting into narcotics, then they were going to start losing favor with the politicians they had in their pockets and the policemen that they had in their pockets and everything else. So he said no to that deal. And he was the only one who was against it. And that's what set off this whole sequence of events, which started with his attempted assassination and then eventually the killing of Sonny, who we haven't even talked about him yet and how much
Yeah.
of a fucking hothead he was.
yeah. Well, I mean, prototypical. Well, I mean, this developed that stereotype, right? He's the oldest,
Yeah.
son, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and he's the heir apparent,
Yep.
and just like he enjoys being a shitbag to his fucking wife and
Yep.
and banging other random broads, or the same random broad. I feel like he
I
kept
don't know.
going back to the same one, that same bridesmaid, like a couple different times.
Oh, I didn't notice
Yeah.
that she was a bridesmaid or whatever.
Originally she was a bridesmaid at the wedding.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you'll see it when you go back.
Oh, was that the chick that he like led up the stairs and he was like fucking her and then like Robert Duvall was like knocking on the door. He's like,
Uh-huh.
"Hey, we need you downstairs."
Yep.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that was not his wife. I just kind of
Correct.
assumed it. I assumed it was.
No, his wife was the one where he walked up and said, "Hey, can you control these fucking kids?" She's like, "Why don't you control them yourself?"
Oh,
That was right before that.
Oh.
Then he went and grabbed the bridesmaid and went upstairs and fucked her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that totally went over my head. See,
And then-
that's why I got to watch this movie more than once
Yes.
to pick up on all those details.
Yeah, because later on, Sonny's at that same broad's apartment.
yeah,
when he
now
comes
that
out.
I recognized.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
it's-
then I kind of figured that was not his
Yeah, it's
his wife.
It's
so.
the same broad.
Ah, okay, see, it's all coming together.
Yeah. You have to see it again.
Yeah, but like he is such a fucking hothead. He wants to, as soon as the attempted assassination on his father happens, like he wants to like go all fucking vengeance, and it takes everything they can, mostly Robert Duvall's character, to
Right.
keep him from like completely popping off the handle.
And it's interesting too. Like this is where you get these terms like "go to the mattresses," and
Yeah.
terminology that, like for me, quite frankly, going to the mattresses, like this conversation, like this idea of it, like it took a little bit to understand what they were talking about, but like for context, and like we're
Kind of swim with the fishes.
Yeah.
When they open up the bulletproof vest.
The bulletproof vest, and Sicilian for swimming with the fishes or whatever.
Yeah.
By the way, Abe Vigoda, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a movie that exists that he doesn't look old? I mean, this
I
movie's
know, right?
50 years old, and the dude looks old as shit.
But
I'm like,
that's saying something, because in the shit that he's in 20, 30 years later, he still looks the same.
he looks the same.
He doesn't look any older.
He looks like remember in Toy Story, right? The first Toy Story movie.
Mhm.
The Pixar short in the beginning,
Yeah.
where it has the old guy who's playing chess with himself.
Yeah,
That's what Abe Vigoda reminded me of. Just taller,
yeah. Right.
right? Because I guess either everyone around him was short, or just Abe Vigoda shrunk over the years,
Right.
because he just seemed like he was taller than everybody.
Yeah. Speaking of him, I loved the way his character ended, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, what I liked was, you showed how the Godfather, he foresaw it. He
Yeah.
told Mikey, like, this is the person who sets up this meeting, or ultimately sets up that meeting, is going to be the one who betrays you.
Yeah.
And Mikey, he wasn't. Whereas I think Sonny would have been like, yeah, all right, whatever.
Yeah, he
Right.
would have fallen for it, for sure.
He would have been all over it. Would have trusted, this guy whose face he associates with being a friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Mikey, like, okay, the enemy of my enemy, and ended up having to take care of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a long movie. I agree.
Really quick before, because I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the prediction of the betrayal, and then the how they guessed like who the main person behind it, the Barzini, that it was him who was behind it the whole time. But before then, I just want to get through some of the rest of my notes. First of all, did we talk about George Lucas talking Coppola into taking the role? We covered that already, right?
I know we talked about it. I don't know. It had to have been while we were on air, right?
I guess. I don't know.
We just did, though. We just mentioned it.
Okay, so yeah.
Now it's official.
Yeah.
It's on air. I just had to look to make sure we were recording.
Okay, I thought you were like leaning over to fart or something.
I wouldn't lean over for that. That's ridiculous. This chair's a fart cushion.
Yeah, talk about Sonny's assassination.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about how fucking bloody it was, but that whole setup was pretty brilliant, because fucking Adrian's husband was a fucking shitbag who constantly, like, from the very beginning, because the movie started off with their wedding,
Right.
and like every time we would see them after that, he was being a fucking dick to her, fucking beating her or whatever. And the first time Sonny saw her with bruises, he like went over and beat the fuck out of the husband.
Yeah.
Like,
While the kids were out playing in the fucking
Yeah.
street, and he's like basically kicks the shit out of him.
yeah, he's going like WWF on him, like beating the shit out of him with fucking trash cans.
Bites his hand. It's fucking it was
Yeah.
fucking great. It's a great scene. And so we get to this part, and it's like you're talking about, like, I think what you're going to lead up to
Mhm.
is, yeah, he was a dick right from the beginning, but the seed is set, and the reason for Carl, it's Carl, right? Is his name Carl?
Yeah, Carlo Rizzi.
Yeah. The seed is set for why he's the guy, why he's the turncoat,
Mm-hmm.
is set in the very beginning
Like,
at the wedding.
really?
Yeah.
What was it? Because I missed whatever that clue was.
When they're talking about what Carlo's job is going to be, right?
Oh, right, with the family, and they
Right.
said,
He's like, they're not going to, like, give him a living, but he's not going to be part of the family.
Right, right.
That's why. That's what set up him being turned on.
Yeah,
because he was never made part of the family. So he
Yeah.
always felt that he was ostracized.
Okay.
And never made part of it. So that's why ultimately he was able to be the guy who got turned.
Yeah, because, you know, as soon as this whole scene happens with Sonny getting gunned down, I'm like, oh, that fucking husband, he was in on this shit. Because it seemed like, and I don't know, I guess it might have been obvious to everybody, but I'm watching it, I'm like, that all happened because it was all a setup to get Sonny to go through that specific toll booth at that time, because there's no way they could have planted a fucking trap like that without
Right.
some prior planning. So I'm like, immediately, I'm like, oh yeah, that fucking asshole was involved for sure. But
yeah, had to know that that Sonny was going to fly off the handle and fucking take off without any protection or anything.
Yep.
And even if he did have somebody in the car with him, what are you going to do when there's fucking 5 Tommy guns coming out of a fucking toll booth?
oh yeah, no, that other guy would have been dead too.
Yeah,
so.
just everyone in that car would have been done. So, yeah, they planned it really well.
Yeah, yeah, and the interesting thing is that Carlo didn't face judgment for that for a very long time afterwards.
Yeah.
Because you know Mikey he bit his time, even though he probably knew the whole time that he was involved. He couldn't prove it, but once he had control and you know took care of the other families, you know, got to turn his attention inward.
Right.
And basically got him to confess. And that was the great thing, is he wasn't 100% sure,
Right.
but he never let
I'm not going to
Carlo
make my
know that.
sister a widow.
Yeah.
Like, here's a plane ticket. Like,
Yeah.
really make him feel like he's secure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, put your jacket on, go sit in the car. And, but you knew there's no way he was going to fucking live.
Yeah.
He was going to swim with the fishes.
Right. But, you know, it's funny because I think he wanted that confession. Like, and they did all of this stuff to get that confession. Because once he got it, then it's like, all right, now we're definitely doing the right thing here.
Yep.
And
then fucking choke the shit out of him. Speaking of fucking super realistic fucking choking of
the dude in this restaurant.
in the restaurant.
Yo, that
And
was
he stabs
disturbing.
his fucking hands like,
His
like,
fucking eyes are bulging out. I was
Yeah.
like, Jesus Christ.
damn it, my laptop locked up again.
Oh,
Son
weird.
of a bitch.
Well, they can still hear you.
I know it's annoying though.
And I think they can still see you too.
They should be able to see me.
Yeah.
Annoying. It's still working. It's just like I can open up the YouTube feed over here, but it's just why do you do that?
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about the 5 families, because this is something it's kind of set up as part of the lore of this whole thing. And I guess they get more into it in the second one, because I guess part of the second one is like a big backstory type thing. I don't know. But yeah, it's like the 5 families that kind of run the whole organized crime.
Every time you say 5 families, I want to say 5 fingers. Say the face.
slap.
Slap.
They're all controlling their little territories and everything, and they're kind of living in peace. But once the shit starts to go down with the narcotics, it was believed for a majority of this that it was the Tatalias that were the ones responsible for this, because they were the ones who were initially in cahoots with that fucking drug dealer guy that Mikey shot in the pizza joint.
Right.
Eventually, after calling for peace, Vito Corleone figures out, no, it wasn't him. It was this Barzini guy, actually. And initially, I'm just like, well, how did he get that? Like, how did he come to that conclusion? Did a little research. Apparently, there's all kinds of YouTube videos out there on this that really break down that scene where the Godfather called for peace. Where they've got the representatives from all the families in there, and they're talking, they're having the back and forth, and they basically agree to the ceasefire, but at the same time also agree to have the narcotics. And they break down every little subtle thing that the main guy says, the Barzini guy says. And a couple of times the way he looks over at the Talia guy,
Right.
Taglia guy. And there's little clues in there that if you really dissect the scene and then a couple of scenes around it, it very easily points to that guy.
Yeah.
But
There's body language.
Yeah,
That they kind of point out. And
but as the first time viewer, just casually watching it, you're like, where did he get that from?
and honestly, Don Corleone, he I think he knew, because even
Well, he did, because he's the one that said afterwards. It's like, oh yeah, it was.
well, even when he was making the deal, remember, because when he added the caveat that if anything happened to Mikey,
Mhm.
right? I think he knew that an attempt had already been made. So
Oh,
he
with
already
the car
knew
bomb?
that. Yeah, so I think he already knew that the deal was going to be fucking wasn't legitimate, because
Right.
they had already made that attempt. That's why he put it out there. So
Okay.
like everything from that point was like, just okay, here's this window dressing in front of everybody, and then we're just going to have to fucking go forward from here.
Mhm.
When Mikey gets back, I'm going to back off, and then Mikey's going to like, all right, you killed his wife. He's going to fucking come back here and be pissed. I'm going to let him handle it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, beware, bitches.
But yeah, if you get the chance, if you're a big fan of this movie and you haven't seen it already, go check out the YouTube video that talks about how Corleone knew that it was Barzini was the main guy behind everything, because it was really, really well done the way they broke it down, and they showed you exactly how he was able to figure it out. And basically, the Don is like super smart guy. Vito Corleone, like you can tell he's been doing this for a long time. He fucking knows these people that he's surrounded by and that he works with and works against, and he can predict these things, which is how he was able to predict that one of them would eventually betray Mike.
Yeah.
And he told him, he's like, I don't know who it's going to be, but when they do, they're gonna be the ones to bring up the meeting. They're gonna have it at their location. And it all unfolded exactly the way he predicted. And like we talked about before, yeah, Mikey, he took the advice. And I love that scene where Abe Vigoda's, they're supposed to go get in the car to drive to go meet him. And they're like, yeah, he's not coming. It's like, oh, this messes up my plans and everything else. And
Right.
then immediately
And then Tommy's like, yeah, I'm not going either.
Yeah. And that's when he knew. He's like, fuck,
Yep.
they made me. And it was a fucking great scene where he just looks over at him. He's just like, just tell him it was nothing personal. It was just business.
Yep.
And because he knew at that point he was done.
Yeah. Well, again, you wonder if it would have been different if he had been granted, he wanted his own territory.
Yeah.
You had this conversation with Mikey that they wanted to separate while they were making the move to Vegas. They wanted to have some separation and have their own part of the business, and Mikey didn't want to do it until they were all the way moved.
Right.
And he obviously, that's not what he wanted, because they immediately turned to fucking turn to Dad, like, Dad, you're not letting us do this.
Yep.
And they're like, hey, look, he's in charge now. You trust me, right? So do what he fucking says, because I made him in charge.
Yeah. And I love that arc, by the way, for Vito Corleone, that how he recognized, like, hey, I'm old, I'm getting slow, I'm kind of losing it a little bit.
Right.
He's the guy. I'm turning over the reins to him. I'll advise him here and there, but
did you feel bad for the fucking kid that he
that he croaked in front of?
Yeah.
Well,
like when he was scared him initially, it was like, ah, like,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, kid.
Yeah.
Like I felt like that was probably genuine.
Yeah, it was a weird, awkward scene.
Because Marlon Brando was our age when he did this.
Yeah,
movie.
he was 46.
And he fucking, so they did, I think for the time, a pretty remarkable makeup job.
Oh yeah.
Like, obviously he affected his voice and did all this other stuff, but like there was never a time when you looked at the makeup and went like, man, that looks a little bit off.
No, it was completely believable.
It was always like looked really, really good. And apparently like distracted mannerisms of an old man and stuff like that, he did real well.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
Oh, there's some trivia out there, and there's even some some video footage. Apparently, Brando would not memorize scripts.
yeah. Yeah, they talk about that in that video I sent you. Like,
Yeah.
He had
cue cards like hammered to a fucking tree.
Yeah.
That he's reading during some of these scenes.
It looks like he's looking up and thinking. Really, he's looking up at his lines on a fucking, on a chalkboard up in the fucking tree.
Yeah.
It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
I guess if you're Marlon Brando, I guess you get to do that.
Yeah, and I guess that was the way he always did it, not just in The Godfather, but in a lot of his movies. So
Fucking bonkers. It's bonkers to think that you can get away with that.
yeah.
You couldn't get away with that in fucking in a high school fucking musical.
No.
Like or the fact that you could be a fucking big time actor and get away with shit like that.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember being in fucking different things all through growing up. You know, I was in all sorts of different productions, and there was never any like, hey, I'll stay in here and hold this fucking cue card so you can no, you memorize your fucking lines. You didn't get the part.
Mm-hmm.
I guess when you get big enough, you can
Yeah, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
fuck off and do whatever.
Yep. So
Bastard.
yeah, it was really good. God, I don't think I have much else in the way of notes. Do you have anything else?
Well, I had to switch out of my notes. Hang on a sec. So I wanted YouTube up on the other screen.
Okay.
Lines. So quotable quotes.
Oh, there's a million of them in
There,
this.
obviously. I talked about the mattresses one already, which I think probably if there was probably a lot of people our generation that they didn't hear or understand this line until they saw it in You've Got Mail.
I've never seen that, so
You've never seen You've Got Mail?
no.
With Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan?
Nope.
Meg Ryan at her Meg Ryanist?
Shockingly, no. Yeah.
What other like movies during that time period, like those Meg Ryan movies? Have you ever seen what's
I've seen their other two movies. I've seen obviously Sleepless in Seattle. I've seen
Right.
Joe and the versus the Volcano.
right?
I just never saw You've Got Mail.
Interesting.
Did not interest me at all.
Yeah.
Of course, this came out in like I think '96. It was like my first year in the military.
Yeah.
Had no girlfriend or anything at the time, so why the
No-
fuck?
No
Why the
reason to see that.
yeah? Why the fuck would I go see a movie like that?
What was the movie? It was her and the dude from Fish Called Wanda.
John Cleese?
No, the other guy, mustache guy.
Oh, God.
Is it French Kiss? That movie? You know what I'm talking about?
No, I know the guy you're talking about. Just can't remember his name right off the top of my head.
He was
Fuck,
in a
we're getting
bunch
old.
of stuff. He was in a
Oh, I
bunch
know.
of stuff.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. The guy that was in the movies.
thing. Where the fuck is the chat? Chat, help! Help us!
You're listening to the nonsensical ravings of two 46-year-old minds.
No, not
Kevin Kline.
Yes.
Thank you. Jesus.
Thanks.
See, we knew that.
Thank
we
God
knew
the
that.
chat exists. It was there. It was right there. The guy, the thing with the face and the fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, French Kiss. That effect is. Kathy and I are like, that's a quotable movie because Kathy doesn't have lines from many movies. Like Spaceballs is one, ironically,
Yeah.
and French Kiss is another one. But Meg Ryan at her Meg Ryanist,
Indeed.
for sure.
So anyway, quotable lines from The Godfather. I've got a list here. Like,
General Shinobi already brought one up in the chat. Leave the gun, take the cannolis.
yeah, that's the top one
Yeah.
that I had.
Uh,
Which I guess that's a very popular line. This is the first time I'd ever heard it watching this movie, but doing research afterwards, apparently it's a very well-known line.
It's a pretty well known.
And apparently it was ad-libbed too by the actor. Which, by the way, that was that scene where he gets out to take a piss and they killed the dude that was driving the car.
Paulie.
Yeah, no idea why that guy got killed. Like, this is part of the thing. Like, watching it one time for the first time, not even 100% knowing who Paulie was, and then when he got killed, like, why did they kill him?
So Paulie was, if you remember, Paulie had called out sick a bunch of times, right? So like bad stuff had happened, and Paulie was called out sick. Oh, I got to go get the car. Like, why when the Don got shot the first time, right? Another one of the Don's men had to go get the car because Paulie called out sick. Right, so Paulie was gone. So then another something happened, and Paulie was out sick. Right, so Sonny, when somebody had told him that Paulie called out sick, Sonny was like, "Go get that motherfucker. I don't care how sick he is."
Yeah.
Right. So you see scenes with Paulie's like sniffing his nose or whatever, and Sonny's like, "Oh, go get some brandy or something." Right. I don't know if you remember that scene.
Oh
where they're in the
yeah, I do
kitchen,
remember hearing that
right?
line.
So finally, at some point, Sonny's like, "That motherfucker I'm sick and tired of his shit. Like he seems to always be hiding from something. You know, he seems to always not be around when something bad happens.
Right.
So that's why he's like, fuck this dude. Get rid of him.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what happens. So
Wait.
they take him out for a fucking drive
Yeah.
with a
Which was it weird seeing them pull over in like a wheat field and seeing the Statue of Liberty like right there? I'm like, I don't think there's a wheat field right there anymore where the Statue of Liberty is. Or anywhere close
and
to
he had
it.
the Empire State Building kind of in the background. Like the way they shot it, like you could tell that they would have had, because the World Trade Center would have been in the shot like over that way.
Yeah.
So it's not. It's like a. It's not a wheat field. It's just grass. It's just like
just tall weeds or whatever.
yeah. It's just the shit that grows like in the median.
Yeah.
So,
but again,
I can
there's
totally see that.
there's no like nowadays. I don't think there's anything like that in that area.
Oh, sure there is.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like if you go,
well, that close to the statue though, because they were really fucking close.
I don't. There's. It all depends on what angle you're taking.
Yeah.
Honestly, like this was the 70s. Even more so in the 40s, I guess, because the Empire State Building was finished in what, 38?
Something like that.
I think it was 38.
I'll take your word for it.
I'm not a New York guy, so I don't fucking know these things. But General Shinobi. See ya. Yeah, anyway, yeah, if you get off at there is an exit right before you get on the GW in Jersey. It's like the Lombardi rest stop.
Yep. Very familiar with that one.
Yeah, if you get off the Lombardi rest stop, there's like a little area like that where you can see the city skyline.
Yeah, you can see the whole city from there.
Yeah. But it has like a little fucking field, like grassy
Yeah.
area that's right there.
It just seemed like
you
they
can
were,
find those little spots.
I guess it just seemed like they were really close to the statue in that scene.
It's all cameras.
I guess. So.
Anyway. But still, it was still fun. He goes out, take a leak, and then fucking pop.
Yep.
Shake it out, and yeah. But you know, the whole scene, and something I didn't appreciate till I saw it this time, like I knew that the line was coming.
Mm-hmm.
But what I didn't realize was like when he was on his way, like leaving the house earlier, when the wife says,
Yeah, don't forget the cannolis.
don't forget the cannolis.
Yeah.
Like I didn't pick up on that the last time I saw it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that makes so much sense now.
Mm-hmm.
This is why the line actually, you know, it's not just about a fat guy loving cannolis,
Right.
which is what I always thought it was.
Yep.
Because fuck, you know, they're fucking delicious. What are you gonna do?
No, they planted that seed earlier.
Like fucking fat kid, man. I'm not leaving behind the fucking dessert.
Mm-hmm.
God damn. What's happening?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
You were talking about quotable lines. Anything else?
What was? Fuck! I need to go back to my notes. Look what they did to my boy.
Yeah.
With going and getting the
That was the guy from the beginning of the movie,
Yep,
right?
cashing in that favor.
Yeah, because the guy that he's like, you know, we should have been friends. Like, you never call me, you never come and
Right.
be friendly with me, and now all of a sudden you're asking me for a favor.
Right.
It was that same guy, right?
Yep,
Okay.
it was.
Right.
And now this was him cashing in, like, hey, do your fucking your fucking makeup magic on my boy who got the fucking shit shot out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And making an offer couldn't refuse. We talked about that one already. The whole concept of the Sicilian wedding with he couldn't refuse anything at his daughter's wedding. You know,
Yeah.
the Sicilian tradition,
Mm-hmm.
which as a kid, like I remember hearing this as like a joke, but never really understood it
Yeah.
until this. And I was like, oh, okay. But I mean, honestly, for somebody like me who's like 99.8% Irish, I have no fucking. This is how I base my understanding of how fucking how Italian people are. I mean, honestly, I don't have any fucking idea. Like, is that a real thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. It seems
And it's funny. These are guys who live in Jersey too, who've lived in Jersey for the past 26.
South Jersey.
Still.
And look, there's in South Philly, there's a very large Italian section, and there's also a fairly large Irish population too.
Yeah.
That is separated, because that's how cities are.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have zero understanding of the Italian populace, so this could very well be a real thing for
Yeah.
old school Sicilians. No clue. I'm just gonna have to take it for fact and
Yeah.
go find a Sicilian whose daughter's getting married and go ask him for something really obscure. Like, I want.
I'm just testing a theory, but can I?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm looking for this pop.
Yeah. Ooh, there you go.
Yes.
I heard you're a guy who can get me things.
I hear you can. Why didn't I come to you before? Well, I didn't know you before.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be frank.
Really quick, I do want to talk about sort of the way the movie ended with once Mikey's fully taken over, he sees the attempt for them to take him out, right? The betrayal of Abe Vigoda. And after that, he's like, I'm going to handle this, but I'm going to be godfather to my sister's son first. I'm going to go to the baptism, then we're going to handle things. Of course, while he's at the baptism,
Right.
like all the rest of the fucking
Gomez
family
Adams
leads.
is taking out the guy. Fucking, you got this poor fat bastard going up all these goddamn stairs to take out some fucking guy.
Yeah, like as soon as the elevator opens, boom,
boom. Yeah, that whole sequence too. Like, you want to talk about from a filmmaker's perspective. You know, this is where, again, the elements of how this film was put together, like, really kind of show where Coppola's genius is kind of shown through here, where he's got, here's him in church baptizing his child, saying these things, you know, renouncing the devil, as he basically sentenced these people to death.
Yeah.
You know,
And that was a great dichotomy there. As he's saying that he renounces the devil, it's like showing these guys getting fucking gunned down, basically by his order.
Yep. While he stands there in comfort, and these orders get executed.
Well, of course, because he's got an alibi now. So it was brilliant, and I loved the way it was executed, and I loved how that really brought his character kind of to where he needed to be at the end there, because you know, he started off, like we mentioned, as this kind of this sort of quiet, not really involved outsider of the family, to now he is the Don, and he's doing something that not even his father would do, and that's offing the fucking heads of all of his competition. Just brr.
Yep. But he basically had to eliminate this cancer of, all right, well, so long as all these guys exist and they want to do the drug trade and everything else, that's always going to be a threat. So eliminate the threat.
Yeah.
You know, be a Marine and fucking eliminate the threat. Which I will say too, that I think the one thing that they didn't play on in the movie is really him being a Marine, right?
Yeah, they didn't delve into it too much.
Yeah, they called him a hero.
Yeah.
He came back a war hero. And he was a captain in the Marine Corps, which, I mean, an officer in World War II, like especially a Marine, your officers, their mortality rate was so fucking high because they generally were in front of everything getting shot.
Right.
It's one of the reasons my grandfather didn't want to become an officer, because he didn't want to fucking be one of the first people off the boat or off the fucking anything, because they're generally the ones that got shot first. So survivability. So he obviously was doing enough to survive and had taken lives and things like that. So the fact that they didn't play off of that more kind of surprised me within the movie. And I appreciated that more sitting here now after 20 years of military service, I guess.
And you know what? Maybe, like you said, maybe that did play into that final decision to eliminate the heads of the families. That was that military mindset more than his father's of trying to like maintain the peace and let everybody go about their business and we'll all kind of work together.
Well, it's not making Tommy his consigliere, because you're not a wartime consigliere.
Yeah,
you're not the guy. While you're going to the mattresses, you're not the guy. he's almost too clean,
Right.
for the whole thing. It's like, all right, you need to step aside, and you need somebody to go in and not necessarily do the wet work, but somebody who's going to be able to, step into some shit.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, not to put too fine a point on it, as we're however long
Yeah.
we've been talking
Yeah.
about
We can
it.
kind of start wrapping it up.
But I will say that, what the God damn it, why is all of my technology acting a fool? This you can understand why this movie was a classic, right?
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely. Absolutely. It was a very good movie. Very good movie. I can see why it has the following that it does. Little sad that I missed the boat up to this point, but it's never too late.
It's never too late.
And I definitely appreciate it for what it is. And
And quite frankly, I'm surprised because I feel like with some of the things that you've been late to the boat on,
Mhm.
that I feel like you're almost don't want to get on the boat just because fuck the boat, right?
yeah.
um,
Well, and see, that's the thing. Like, I never actively avoided it.
mhm.
I never said, fuck The Godfather. I don't ever want to watch that movie. It's just, it never came into my line of sight to where it was like, okay, let me watch this. It never happened for whatever reason. Be it, we didn't have the right pay channel growing up. And then,
Right.
My family, they weren't really big people into the Godfather. Like, I couldn't tell you if my mother's ever seen the movie, quite frankly. She probably has. She's probably like cursing me right now, actually. But I don't know. It was never watched in my household. Then when I, became my own person, I was very distracted by the things that were going on at the time. And it just, and it wasn't long after that Kristen and I got together, and it was just never a movie that we were sitting around thinking, oh, let's watch The Godfather.
Well, like
of
you
all
said,
things.
you weren't really into the mob movie kind of genre.
Yeah.
Which is funny when I was thinking about it, doing this or that, kind of looking at Casino, The Untouchables, stuff like that. Like, it wasn't something that was on in the house at all, but like when I had opportunities to watch TV, like more adult TV as like a teenager,
Yeah.
if I was going to watch something, there was a show, there was a couple different Chicago mob shows that were on TV. Fuck, what was it? One of them had, damn it, again, thinking of his face, he had this big Tom Selleck like mustache, but he was a little bit older. He's in I think he's in Casino. What the hell's his name?
Robert De Niro.
It's not De Niro. I know who fucking De Niro is.
I don't know.
It's
But-
like Chicago something. It was a Chicago-based mob show, and it was a series it was on. It was actually really, really good, and kind of followed along with that, and with the Tommy guns and I like the cars,
Yeah.
right? And one of the notes I had was like, I love these old cars,
Mm-hmm.
and something they did right. Like if you're looking at movies and you're looking at the Sicilian, when he's in Sicily, the cars are on the all right, it's in Italy. They drive on the wrong side of the road, right?
Yep.
So the steering wheels are on the wrong side. So it was accurate to that,
Mm-hmm.
which is a little thing, but it's something that I would look for,
Sure. Yeah.
for that detail. Even like shotgun types and what are people carrying?
Mm-hmm.
Shit like that. Like what actually makes sense for the 1946 to 49 that we're talking about for this time period.
Yeah.
The hospital rooms,
The hospital was fucking weird,
right?
right? It seemed it, but I guess it was probably normal for the time. But just like the layout of the hospital and the structure and the types of rooms, it seemed more like an apartment building that they had hospital beds in.
Yeah,
Right?
It seemed like it was with the green walls. And
Yeah.
it's just really strange.
Yeah.
Um,
But I mean, that could have been what hospitals were like back then. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, I don't know. But I have no reason to doubt it.
Yeah.
It could have been like a rehab center, as opposed to an operatory hospital.
Sure. Yeah.
Especially being that fucking empty.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, there was a reason why it was that
Well,
empty too, but
true. but and then having the wherewithal to know like where the fuck is everybody? Shit, something bad's about to happen.
Mm-hmm. But that was another great scene in the movie too, because he walks in and he immediately sees like there's fucking nobody around. He's like, all right, what the fuck is going on? Gets in there and he's like, there's people coming for my dad right now. We need to get him the fuck out of here.
Yep. Listen, bitch, get fucking unwheel it. Come on, unhook this shit so we can fucking move it.
Yeah.
What was I talking about? Oh, the cars. Yeah, like so. One thing I did notice too, though, this when they're driving, when you watch it again, because I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
Watch how close they come to fucking taking out pieces of the fucking like the set or the house or whatever they're around. Dude, there are so many times where I'm watching them come around a corner. I'm like, how did that fucking they just miss taking out a fender or taking out a fucking a person?
Yeah.
Like the cars are very, very there's tight spaces that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found myself watching them drive them and going like, they're going to hit something.
Yeah.
There's no way that they're not going to take out that fucking, that piece of fence that they keep driving around.
Mm-hmm.
Or, at the homestead there in New York, the Don's homestead.
Like that whole gated
like
entryway
just
and
the
everything.
big chain. Like, just drop this chain so the cars come through. Like, all right, chain's back up.
Yeah.
Just little things like that. Like, and even the texture of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It just. Granted, it was filmed in the 70s, right? But I just feel like it had that particular. It had a little bit of grittiness to it.
Yeah, and the low lighting, how
Yeah.
a lot of the scenes are very dark, that was intentional, apparently, in some of the research I did. And I guess Coppola got a lot of shit for it from the studio. Apparently, him and the studio did not get along well at all during a majority of this production.
Right.
Like, I guess they didn't come around until they saw the dailies for the scene where Mike shot the two guys in the pizza parlor.
Right. I heard they didn't think it was violent enough.
Yeah.
And there were...
Yeah, them and Coppola were constantly butting heads throughout this. Like when it came to like who he cast, like they didn't want fucking Brando as Don Corleone. They wanted somebody else. They didn't want Al Pacino as fucking Mikey. They wanted somebody else.
Yeah.
So it was a big fight through most of it. But I guess after they saw the dailies for that particular scene, they kind of came around. They're like, oh,
yeah,
we might be onto something here.
That one YouTube thing that I had sent you.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, excuse me. That one YouTube thing I sent you, the Coppola was talking about, like they opened up this like yearbook, right? And it's like Coppola's sitting by himself. In the middle of all these things. And
he just looks so alone and just like isolated from everything else going on.
And that's what he talked about. He's like, yeah, it's most of the time he was fucking miserable.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for, having his sister on the set and James Caan, I guess was a friend of his.
Yeah, he was an old school friend. They went to the same like school and college and everything together.
So thankfully he had people that were in his corner to kind of keep him going. But fuck, I forgot where I was going with that. Damn it.
No, we were just talking about how him and the studio were butting heads constantly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't remember.
so
I'm fucking brain dead.
we can kind of wrap this up. Overall, yeah, I enjoyed the movie. I see what the hype is about, and yeah.
So the real question
not
is,
a bad flick.
What about the sequels?
So that's one thing I wrote in here. I actually have. I suggest that we actually cover part 2 at some point during the course of this podcast.
Sure.
Doesn't necessarily even have to be this year, but I'd be willing to tackle the second part.
When you get a chance and you want to watch it, then let me know and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
That's fine.
So we can.
I haven't seen part 2 in a while.
And like
I
I
may
said,
have a different impression of it. I'm going to tell you right now that if you're waiting for me to be excited about it, I'm not going to be.
okay.
But my impression could change. It's been a minute since I've seen it.
Yeah,
I didn't really enjoy the second one.
So the only frame of reference I have for this is, I know you're not a fan of the Scream movies, but when they did Scream 2, the big thing with Scream 2 was sequels suck, right? They played on the idea of sequels, how Hollywood is just all about fucking churning out sequels and they're all garbage. They never live up to the original. Why does Hollywood continue to do it? And one of the characters, or they were having this like debate at the beginning of the movie where they're like trying to talk about like which sequels actually were better than their originals. Some of the ones they came up with were Aliens. Couple other ones I can't remember right now, but then one guy said The Godfather Part 2 was one sequel that surpassed the original. So that's the only frame of reference I have for that. I don't know what the fuck else happens, except I guess Robert De Niro's in it. So I'd definitely be willing to watch it because, again, I enjoyed this movie. I'd be curious to see where they take these characters from here.
What I would like you to do is let this open up a little bit more into the genre for you too.
Sure.
Because I think, what movies did we talk about earlier that you said you hadn't seen? You saw the
pretty much everything from this or that that I have seen were Casino. Fuck.
Did you see The Untouchables?
No, never seen The
You
Untouchables.
should see The Untouchables.
Uh-huh. Does that have an anniversary coming up?
I don't know.
Anytime?
You should. Some movies are just worth seeing.
Oh,
You know?
I'm not, denying that. But I mean, if we can tie it to an anniversary, it's makes it a lot easier. It's easy show topics, man. That's what we're all about. The
Well,
Untouchables.
Wally Frogmore in the chat. I'm
87. So it's 35 years old
87.
in a row. Hold on.
I'm 37?
You got to get quicker on the draw.
I know. But again, truncated silence. I'll take that out for the audio episode.
Nice. Oh,
Kevin
Goodfellas. Have you seen Goodfellas?
Have not. Oh no, yes, I have.
Okay.
I have seen Goodfellas
All right. So that's a must see.
because that's the one that's got Ray Liotta in it, right? He's like the main character.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's the one scene where his wife like had the big fucking bag of Coke and she fucking flushed it all, and then he's like, "Where's the fucking Coke?" She's like, "I flushed it. The cops were raiding the house."
Wally Frogmore does bring up that T2 was the best sequel.
Ah, yes.
That's the original, and that is fact.
Well, a very, very different style of movie
Right.
too. But we talked about that when we talked about T2 last year.
Yes, we did. Go back and listen to that episode.
So The Untouchables is 35 years old this year.
Yeah.
87. I'm trying to find a release date. It just says 87. Hold on.
Touchables is a good movie.
Anyway, continue with whatever else you were saying.
I don't know what the fuck I was saying. See, truncated silence can't take it out if I'm still talking.
July.
July's full, man.
It came out July 3rd, which is my mom's birthday.
Yes.
So,
And
I'll
also,
be in California that week.
You'll be in
this year.
California. I will not be in New Jersey. Also be on vacation.
Yeah.
So we could
We can still put a pin in that. And
put a pin in it. Also in July, remember we have things like the Scarif Con, which I'm going to talk about, I think, in a
that's
read a little
right.
bit.
Mhm.
And we also have, I think, the Top Gun movie comes out in July.
I hope so.
Maybe.
And I mean,
Solid schmaybe.
I know our original plan had been to cover the original Top Gun and
Right.
then the sequel, kind of like back to back.
Speaking of, have you seen the there's video of a backseater in a fucking F-18 singing Danger Zone while pulling like 7 Gs. It's actually pretty impressive.
I got to see that. No,
Yeah.
I've never seen that. Oh, that's good shit.
Luna Girl's taking notes. Thank you.
That's why we pay her the big bucks.
Right. Where was I going with that? Oh, yeah, it's so we could do Untouchable sooner.
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
no reason we couldn't.
Yeah. Just, I mean, again, it's all a matter of like finding when we have room
Yeah,
in the schedule.
I would much rather do a movie that's good as opposed to, I don't know, some fucking shit wagon of a movie called Boat Trip.
Our patrons chose that.
I don't care. Really don't care. I love our patrons.
Don't listen to Dave.
I love you. I love you. However, don't ever do that to me again. Ever.
We will destroy you with our weapons.
All your base are belong to us. Top Gun 2 better be worth the wait.
I know, right?
Um,
Fuck.
Listen. Sidebar of the sidebarring we were already doing.
Uh-huh.
Just the camera work alone I'm willing to sit there through what's probably going to be not a great story,
Mm-hmm.
but just seeing the camera work that they're these fucking these HD cameras that they have, it's going to be some of the best fucking in cockpit footage. Like it's
Oh yeah, just some of the stuff we've seen in the trailer.
I can't even literally can't even get out the words to describe how good I think the flying in this movie is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a kid, like why did I like Top Gun? Had nothing to do with fucking Kelly McGillis or fucking doon 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 or anything.
Oh,
any
it was
of that.
the gay beach volleyball.
Well, I mean, aside from that,
Hanging with the boys. Not gay at all.
No, this was 1980. What was it? 1984?
Something like that. Yeah,
Something like that. No, the fucking
no, I think it was 86.
86.
It doesn't work.
God damn it. No, the fucking flying, man. All the F-14s and the fucking F-7s that they pretended to be MiGs.
Yeah.
All that flying is part of what helps stoke my love of flying.
Yeah.
And me wanting to be a pilot and everything else. And
Nice.
I think I'm super excited to kind of sit there. If they have any idea about the audience that's going to go and watch this movie, they're going to have the majority of this take place in flight.
It seems like a lot of it's going to.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't
and-
have 2 hours of the movie be in flight, but
please, pretty please, with sugar on it, do that
yeah.
because that'll be watchable. And I think if we do it in a 4D experience,
Oh, we have to.
we're gonna get motion sick.
Probably. But I mean, we saw the trailer for that.
I'm gonna start fucking doing G breathing.
Yeah.
I'll start fucking so I don't black out.
Well, that's the thing that got me so excited about it was when you, me, and Swede saw Rise of Skywalker in the 4DX with the
Yeah.
moving seats and everything. They showed the trailer for Top Gun Maverick before that, and the seats fucking moved along with the trailer, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is gonna be amazing.
Yeah, and it still will be amazing, and we will do it.
Yeah.
100%. We will do it. Do it.
Do it.
What was happening? I should do a read.
Okay, so are we wrapping this up then? You
Um,
want to talk about some Red 5?
I'm supposed to do a read. I don't know how long we've been talking because my stuff is all locked up.
Well, we've been on the air for 2.5 hours,
Two
but
and a half hours.
the first half hour of that was me trying to keep people entertained while you were having your thing.
Jason entertaining.
Oh my god. Why are you making so much noise?
Because it's entertaining.
I don't know if it is.
In Red 5 news, July 23rd has been set in stone as the official date of ScarifCon 2022, which is a good thing because that's when my hotel reservation is. This year, the con will be held at Murray Brothers Caddyshack in Rosemont, Illinois.
Nice.
Which I think is Chicago-ish. It's like near the airport.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much Chicago. Anyway, visit with local artists, vendors, Star Wars Mandalorian actor Dominic Pace, and dozens of Red 5 Network podcasters, including Don, Brady, and DB from the ATSW Escape Pod, and Jason and Luna Girl and I will be joining them. It wasn't capped. I just said it.
Okay.
Yes. More special guests are hopping on board, so keep an eye on the socials for updates. Please join us. Book a hotel room or an Airbnb or drive in for the day. The shenanigans will be good and plentiful. Lunar Girl promises. And as of today, that is the plan. I will be going out there. I'm assuming Jason's going out there. Hopefully we're taking our wives. Maybe not. I don't know. We haven't figured that out yet, but
Yeah, I can tell you, Kristen and I have not talked about it in a while, so I guess
let's just.
I guess as it's getting closer, we're probably gonna have that conversation for real.
We're just gonna do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Yeah, it'll be a good time. I'm excited to see Dominic Pace again. I saw him during COVID,
Yeah.
back in the day. So, yeah, it's fixing to be a ripping good time.
Sweet.
And we'll be live on the air, I'm sure, during that whole thing. And we could probably do a lot of adventuring in and around whatever's going on.
Oh, sure.
Fuck,
Yeah.
that train's loud right now.
Yeah.
It's been loud that whole time? Or am I just noticing that one?
That one did seem a little bit louder than
Right?
normal.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know why. Don't know what to do. Well, there are two different trains. There's the Amtrak. There's two different tracks. One of them's for the Patco.
Right.
The other one's for the Amtrak. The Amtrak blasts through. It doesn't stop at any of these stations.
Oh, that might have been it. That's
Yeah.
probably the Amtrak.
because
That
yeah, it
makes
makes
sense.
it's louder. It makes a lot more noise. Yeah.
Yeah, fuckers. Anyway, it's a busy night for Red 5 Network podcasters. After our show, hop over to After the Weekend, where they will be discussing the movie Cool Runnings.
Nice.
Feel the rhythm. Feel the ride. I forget the next part.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw that movie one
Feel the
time in high
rhythm.
school.
Feel the rhyme. Something, something.
It was a fun movie.
It's Bob's time.
John Candy was in that, right?
Cool Runnings. Yes, John Candy went to it.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Dead Yet Sanka. No, man. It was a good movie. It was funny. Interesting timing to do Cool Runnings.
Why?
This far after the
Olympics? Yeah.
Because I think the Jamaican bobsled team actually put a team in this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for the first time in a while. Because the whole thing is based around, anyway.
Yeah, I know. I saw the movie.
After our show, hop in After the Weekend, where they'll be discussing the movie Cool Runnings. Feel the rhythm. Feel the ride. I can't remember that middle part. It's upset time. Cool Runnings.
It's not even celebrating any kind of an anniversary right now. so-
Celebration. Following them, catch
No, it's
WSTR
not
Media
a celebration.
at 10 p.m. Eastern as they interview local Chicago artist Steve Connell. At midnight on the East Coast, Salty Nerd Podcast will be nerding out to Red versus Blue with special guest Backyard TARDIS and JT. So Red versus Blue would be the good Halo,
Yeah, the
and
Halo.
entertaining Halo.
I think the old term for it used to be like machinima or something, where they would take like video games
For shizzle.
and they would they'd make like shows out of them.
Right.
Like out of the
I think Red versus Blue is really one of the first and best ones to do it, though, because it was so original when it came out. Because again, not being a Halo guy, but watching it was just fucking funny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just-
it was good. It was very good writing for that.
Yeah. Yeah, so check out the Salty Nerd Podcast tonight at midnight with Backyard TARDIS and JT. The Red 5 Network now has 37
I'm 37?
amazing podcasts in their family. There's literally something for every personality. Browse through bio.link/red5. That's bio.link/red, the number 5, or shoot Lunar Girl a DM on any of our socials. She can suggest something you'll absolutely love that is perfect for you. Totally not kidding.
37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
In a row? Love it. The Use and Abuse Pod, or for Cantina Family Happenings, because reading is fundamental.
Yep.
The Use and Abuse Pod wraps up March Music Madness tomorrow with music of Reba McEntire, with special guest Hannah. Join hosts Scott and Kim in their live chat on Tuesday at 1900, 7 p.m. Eastern on YouTube.
Okay.
Little Reba McEntire.
I'm Reba.
Big red hair and nice red voice. Big red hair.
I'm a dude. It's the SNL skit. I'm Reba. No.
No,
Okay.
no. Sorry.
Worlds collide. You'll have to watch it.
We're not.
Okay.
On Wednesday, ATSW The Escape Pod will be reviewing The Atom Project. Join Don Della Snooch, Brady Big Lovin', and Dragon Buddy in their live chat at 7:05 p.m. Eastern on YouTube.
I don't know what that is.
The Atom Project? It's the Ryan Reynolds joint.
I don't know what that is.
You know who Ryan Reynolds is?
Well, I know who Ryan Reynolds is, but I don't know.
Did this movie where he's like space cadet that goes back in time, runs into his fucking younger self. Shenanigans
Oh,
ensue.
I think I did see like a trailer or something for that.
My father-in-law was watching it. It looked okay.
Wait, is it a show or a movie?
I don't know.
It looks like it's a movie.
He was watching it. It was on the television in our house. So
Okay.
it's tough to tell these days.
Wait, who's watching television in your house?
My father-in-law.
Oh, okay. Because he lives there.
Right.
Right.
On Thursdays, you can now find Luna Girl the Merciless as she battles with 97 Bravo, General Shinobi, and Mandalorian for the dark side on Star Wars The Old Republic.
Oh, they're playing the Old Republic?
It sounds like it. Let me read that slower. See, it would help if I pre-read this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to be reading it for the first time
Yeah.
on the show like a professional.
I have an active Old Republic account. Nobody fucking invited me.
I have an active Old Republic account as well that I don't have time to fucking use. I really don't.
Oh, yeah, I really don't either, but
I got
still.
I got papers to write. On Thursdays, you can now find Luna Girl the Merciless as she battles with 97 Bravo, General Shinobi, and the Mandalorian for the dark side on Star Wars The Old Republic.
Group sizes are only 4, though. They're a max of 4, so I guess.
This is always a hilarious session where Bravo and Amanda yell at Sister Zabrix, Lunar, and Shanti and tell them to stop following each other. The gaming session can be live streamed at 97 Bravo on both Twitch and YouTube at 8 p.m. Eastern. That sounds like it'd be fun. Be fun
Yeah.
to watch.
For sure.
It's a shame. I wish we had more time to fucking play video games. I really do. Gotta figure out how to make time.
I just got to retire. Just be a stay-at-home gamer.
That would be nice.
Mhm.
I need to retire again. I think that's what I have to do. So watch those guys. That'll be fun. 97 Bravo, 90 the number 7 Bravo on both Twitch and YouTube. So do it. You can catch Luna. You can catch Luna Girl again on Comics and Cosmetics this Sunday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern.
That's one of the new 37
I'm 37?
shows on Red 5.
As she and Joker Voice chat with host Danny about. I said that weird. I don't know why I said it like that. As she and Joker Voice chat with host Danny about episode 1 of Marvel's Moon Knight. Isn't that Oscar Isaac? Isn't he the Moon Knight guy?
Yes.
Right? Why do I know that? Because they fucking play commercials all the time.
It's all over Disney Plus and
Yeah.
everything else, yeah.
And I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
A
I
whole
really
lot
don't
of
care either.
moon knighting.
Like, I like some Marvel stuff, but I have no interest in that. And you'd think I would, because I like some Marvel stuff. It's Oscar Isaac, who we know from Star Wars, Poe Dameron. But I'm just like, meh.
I have zero desire.
I
really do.
feel like we're reaching an oversaturation point with the superhero movies.
Just not
I know you
interested.
probably felt like this 20 years ago, but I think now we might be getting to that point where it's like, okay, how much is too much?
For me, it was like it was the. You all right over there?
I don't know.
That was water you were drinking, right?
Yes.
Anyway, catch Lunar Girl on Comics and Cosmetics this Sunday evening at 7 p.m.
We're
Eastern.
still on that.
I'm just rereading it because I fucked it up the first time. As she and Joker Voice chat with host Danny about episode 1 of Marvel's Moon Knight. This will be Comics and Cosmetics' very first live stream.
Oh, sweet.
Awesome. So
And when is that again?
that is on Sunday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern. Go support Lunar. Go support Lunar and our new Red 5 network sister. Lunar? Can't do that.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't
doesn't flow well.
It doesn't. It should be just Lunar Girl.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I get it. Like if it's kind of like a patronymic with the first name, or I guess it would be matronymic because it's female.
I don't see gender, so that means nothing to me.
Yup, to Vayumut. Anyway, watch them. Orange Fett Show released episode 22, Strange Brew. Subscribe to them, Strange Brew.
Oh, what a funny movie.
It is a funny movie. Subscribe to them on Spotify to give it a listen, and you will be notified of upcoming releases.
He drank it all.
So subscribe to them on Spotify, and you will do it. Big Sweet has been revamping his studio. Chat with him on Discord. Follow his studio updates on Instagram, and check out some of his quarantine sessions at Sweet Studios on YouTube. For us, since we're the best,
Yeah.
you can find us at bio.links/the Sidebar Cantina, where you will find our links to YouTube audio, Patreon, our Spotify music mixtapes, which will be important for next week, and all social media platforms, including Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Discord, and TikTok. Tick of Talks. Luna Girl enjoys chatting with you in DMs and reposting the memes you sent her, so keep them coming. Phrasing. Also in our bio link is our TeePublic merch shop. So you, just like Don, had to recently because Villanova went to the Final Four. We have go in and buy a t-shirt. We have t-shirts, hoodies, in a wide variety of designs, sizes, and colors. There are Sidebar Cantina face masks, tote bags, phone cases, exclusive stickers, and pins, just about everything you can imagine. Please tag us with your merch so Luna Girl can share it on the socials. Reviews. Please write us a 5-star review on your favorite podcasting app or on our favorite Facebook page.
Are you okay over there?
That's on our Facebook page. Screenshot it at our DM and DM us the pic. Oh my god. Screenshot it and DM us the pic on Instagram or Twitter. Do you love our singing? Want more acts? Ack. Tell us what you love about the show. Luna Girl has a fresh order of stickers. Well, she'll have a fresher order if I actually take them out of my book bag, put them in an envelope with a fucking envelope or stamp, and put them in the mailbox and go.
That's what the mail sounds like.
Up the Great North, to the Great North, to fucking actually get to her. Like I promised her I would like 3 weeks ago.
Are they north of us or are they more west of us?
No, they're north.
They are north?
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost. Well, they're north and west, but almost due north.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm terrible at geography.
that's why I would have to do, as opposed to go.
That's the sound of it going south.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
It's lower, right? It's a lower sound.
Oh,
It's
that makes
higher,
sense.
as opposed to.
That's why you're the music guy.
Reviews. Rate us 5-star review on your favorite podcasting app or our Facebook page. Screenshot and DM us the pic on Instagram or Twitter. Do you love our singing? Want more acts? I read that part already. Tell us what you love about the show. Luna Girl has a fresh order of stickers and would love to throw you some swag or some swag your way.
Imagine if we were drinking.
Don't forget
during all of this.
I think there's an oxygen deprivation thing that happens while we're in the studio.
Oh,
and
maybe.
slowly we're just like dying. And we're hypoxic and we're just not picking up on it. Like,
Right.
let's check our fingers. Like,
Yeah, I think you make a good point.
I can still see color.
Yeah.
It's yellow. That was blue. That was always my big thing with hypoxia was the colors.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah, I would lose colors and then
And I would get real flush. My face would get real flush. Like
Really?
kind of hot. Yeah.
I wouldn't have noticed that part. I'd be doing like a simple math problem, realizing that I'd like, wait, what color is this? Like, oh fuck, big gang.
Yeah.
Anyway, don't forget we will read your review word for word on our next episode. Ack. That's it.
All right.
That's all I have for the reading.
Okay, and like we said, next week, the music of 1993. I know people have been waiting for this.
Yes.
When I had the audacity to even hint at, oh, maybe we'll just wait until 2023 to do the music of 93. Oh no, that was not going to happen.
That was definitely a non-starter. It was.
And again, I was never 100% serious with that. But fuck, man, just even the mention of that, and people were ready to fucking have my head on a pike. So, yeah, we're gonna do that next week, and then we have Dune the week after that,
Right.
And
and support. Lunar Girl's going to be reaching out on the socials to really build up our 1993 playlist.
yes, as she does, she made some great playlists for the other years that we covered.
So, and I would anticipate potentially maybe a guest spot
That would seem logical.
for some playlist action.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how many times you would do it. I could have went on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's do it. Let's do it. 1993. What was I doing in 93? I was a junior.
Yeah, I was that was sophomore into junior. No, that was fuck.
That was my
Okay, so freshman year was 91 into 92. So sophomore was 92 into 93. So 93 would have been half sophomore, half junior year for me.
Yeah, it was junior year. And yeah, something
Oh,
like that.
God. This is going to be the year of like fucking Hootie and the Blowfish and some other shit, isn't it?
Only want to be with you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was 93.
Wow.
And, well, we already talked about if you want to call me baby, just go ahead now. I think so. Two princes, spin doctors. Oh, 1, 2, princes kneel before you.
Was that? Did we already talk about
I
that?
feel like we did. Maybe we didn't.
We might not have.
Yeah.
More to follow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, do it.
All right, that's it. I don't think we're gonna do the OT this week because it's fucking late. And yeah, it's 8:15, and I gotta edit and get to bed. So I think we need to skip the OT this week.
It's fine.
Okay, but we are probably gonna do a little after show because Kristen brought us some dessert.
Are we mukbanging?
Apparently. So
Oh,
all right.
shit.
So thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week. And until then, Dave and everybody else, go fuck yourself. Are we just not doing the what do I click anymore?
I don't know. I was trying to come up with something.
All right.
You know, I always feel like I'm on the spot. Even though I know it's coming.
Yes, you do know it's coming. Every week. Every week.
I don't know. What do you want from me?
A little bit,
No.
okay.
The answer is no.
So, what do you got for us today?
The only thing you guys want, brownie.
Woohoo! Has it got weed in it?
I hope not. We got security clearances.
That is true. Oh my god. Ah, Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. I'll take the one on the top, since it looks like it's the smaller one.
So smooth. So smooth.
So smooth.
Are you gonna have some?
No.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at it.
Look at it.
Show it every time I bring it in.
You really need a what's in the box drop.
Fuck. Yeah, I do need to put that in there.
I texted that
What's in
to
the fucking
you.
box? I know. Hold on. Let me write it on my sheet.
My screen is still locked up at 7:17. So it's a full hour old.
All right. So things I need to add to the mixer. Where's my fucking pen? I just had it.
Do it live.
What?
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
Fucking thing sucks.
All right. I guess I'll grab another pen. So. What? Really?
Probably payback for your comment earlier.
What did I say earlier? Whatever. All right, so we're going to do unlimited power. Because we had that. We talked about that. We need... Oh, a week ago. Fuck. Bitch got up on it about a week ago. It's a celebration. I tried to get that, and it's hard to find a good video of that that's not copyrighted.
Could just have me do it.
I guess we could do that. Breaking news. All right, what did you just say? Oh, what's in the box? What's in the box? There was something else too that you texted me.
That's why I texted it to you, so I don't have to remember it.
All right, I'll go back and look later. I want to have some of this fucking brownie. So, anybody still out there? Still 8, according to.
You better be entertaining.
What is she? What are you? Oh my goshing about?
She's gonna be on the 93 episode.
Oh. I think you need to shorten the doing it live drop. Okay. So instead of the full
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
So cut out the second do it live.
That makes sense.
So just do it live, fuck it. Or cut out the first do it live and just go, fuck it, do it live.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
So cut out the fuck it, cut out a little bit of that empty space in between, and then just go, fuck it, do it live.
I mean, you can always add another drop with that edit,
Yeah.
and then we'll compare the two, see which one we like better.
Okay.
He's got the time.
I like it.
He's
I like it
been
with the,
teleworking.
I like it with the ad like on the back side of it. Fucking thing sucks.
Yeah. I can get that too as a separate drop. The shitty thing is, there's not a real easy way to flip between pages. And this thing is like not very sensitive, so I'm like jamming on it with my finger to try to get it to fucking change. And so if like I'm on this page and I want to hit one from the second page, then I gotta go and then
37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
In a row?
gosh, brownie's so good.
Such a funny scene. In a row?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that was the thing about Kevin Smith, man. He wrote some really clever, funny dialogue. Especially in those early movies, man.
Well, it's because that's how people talk. You know, sometimes you just fucking have that drop.
Yep.
Face the camera when you take a bite.
Why?
I'm just saying.
She's just gonna watch it later.
Yeah, I agree, Don. It's kind of annoying having to flip back and forth between pages. So, he feels my pain. I shouldn't eat any more of this, but it's so good. I haven't had any kind of like sweets in quite a while. I've been really good with the eating and the working out. I haven't missed a gym day in 2 months now. I haven't missed a single workout.
Nice.
And I've been trying to get better, like a lot less crap food, like less fast food and all that. And I haven't had like sweets and probably since the last time we had brownies. Nah, I had something before that. She brought home cookies.
You said you didn't eat any cookies.
Not that time, the time before.
Yeah, I brought home cookies and you didn't touch them the last time.
It took every bit of willpower I fucking had because they're the fucking soft chocolate chunk cookies from Costco, which are to die for.
I gave up cookies for Lent.
Catholics are weird.
That's a long time. Isn't it like a month?
I don't know. It feels like an eternity. I mean, and honestly, it's more about giving something up as anything rather than the religious aspect. It's just a matter of like, I could stand to remove some confectionery sugar out of my fucking diet.
Oh,
you know what I
sure.
mean?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, do I need an excuse to do it? Yes, I'll just use this.
Okay, that's fair.
Like Kathy gave up social media.
Something else is probably a good thing to do.
Yeah.
And if you could do it under the guise of giving it up for lentil or whatever, then yeah.
Lentil. Lentil. Give it up for lentils.
Yeah. If it were me, I would just give up weird religious traditions, but oh, they're complimenting your hair.
I did respond.
Did you guys see? Yeah, it's probably hard to see on the camera, but
Yeah,
it's also got
it's-
some special color to it as well.
You can see it.
You should get up close to the camera.
No, I don't think.
Just
I
do
need
it.
to-
Do it.
I don't think that's necessary.
Hold on.
Do it.
That was Palpatine saying, "Do it."
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Can you tell us purple?
Nah, I still can't see it. Hold on. Don't do anything. Just stay there.
Oh my god, why are we doing this?
Just lean down again.
You can't even see it's purple. Oh, maybe a little bit.
Yeah. It's good though. She just colored it last week. Looks great. If you saw her in person, you'd see it. So as you're looking up at the
sacred Jedi
pops, we haven't had any new additions in a while.
I've been behaving.
Yeah, that's good.
There'll be some pre-orders that come in a couple weeks.
All right.
But again, not a lentil thing, just a,
Budgetary thing.
I invested in another expensive hobby. So
You can only have one at a time, right?
yeah.
That makes sense. Oh, thanks, Don. I was going to surprise Kristen with it, but I guess
What?
nothing.
What?
Don't worry about it.
I can't see the chat, but I'm pretty good at extrapolating.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy wants you guys to do a bad movie, and I fully support it.
Is that the one we watched the trailer for?
Yes.
It could be okay.
It looks like it could be.
Has she said anything to you about it?
No.
Okay.
What movie?
Well, I told her she has to become a patron first before we'll even consider it.
I actually don't remember the name of it, but we saw a trailer for it. It looks funny.
It was from the same director of The Wedding Crashers. Stars Will Ferrell.
It's not that piece of shit your dad was watching last night, is it?
What was her dad watching last night?
Some they were Iceland's EDM thing. Yeah. Really? I watched literally 90 seconds of that. I was like, no.
Were they the first 90 seconds?
No,
Okay.
they weren't. They were probably towards the end. The crescendo of the plot.
So this is the second time tonight I've seen the hashtag Tank Top for Life. And hello, by the way, Isaac. Feels like it's been a while since I've seen you in the chat. Are we talking about... Hold on. You can't really see it. I'm blocking Vader. But the tank top is still on Vader right there behind me. You can kind of see the... No, you really can't.
Why is Vader's helmet half off? You went over my helmet?
Is it half off? Hold on. No. Here, we'll do this.
What's going on?
Is Vader's helmet half off?
Oh, he's wearing a mask.
I did this the day we were rearranging the movie. I'm just gonna put that on there and put that there and see if anybody says anything.
I've been
and
looking-
nobody said anything.
I've been looking at it for weeks, and I've been like, man, it just doesn't look right. Did something happen to it?
Yeah, when we rearranged the studio, I did that.
Jesus.
And nobody said anything until now. But yes, the tank top is still here. The tank top.
And there it should stay.
Should be burned.
Never.
That could be a Patreon question.
Should Jason
What
wear the
sh-
tank top on
no,
the show?
No. How should we dispose of the tank top?
Well, first of all, I think it should be first. Should we dispose of the tank top? And I will make a case for no.
Come on, patrons, please. We need you.
You know what? I think the patrons would probably. The patrons want the tank top to survive. I would almost guarantee it.
As they should.
Sadly,
It's got a storied history in this podcast. You pulled a knife on me because of it.
I don't know what you're
Can't just
talking
burn
about.
it.
I really don't know what you're talking about.
We have the video evidence. It's still on YouTube.
Well, I mean, it's probably laying next to, part 2 of episode 150.
Maybe. Ooh, maybe I'll make that a Patreon exclusive. I'll actually edit part 2, put it up on Patreon.
Why edit it?
Well, that's why it was never released in the first place, was because it was a fucking mess because we had a bunch of technical issues. And then we had like 3 different guests. You got so fucking drunk, like I think it was during Shotgun Mark's segment, you were just like staring off into space. I'm like, whoa, man, Dave is really out there. Yeah, so.
I think it's brilliant. I think that's
Yeah.
why you got to leave it the way it is.
Well, you know what I could do is I could just pull all the videos and edit it together as one video.
Isn't it on YouTube now?
Yeah, but remember we did it in every single guest we had on. We had to do a different,
No, I don't remember.
because this was
I
long.
was fucked up, dude.
Well, this was before StreamYard though. This was when we were doing it over like OBS or something, and every guest we had to start a new live stream, and it was a big fucking pain in the ass.
Were we using Google Hangouts? Is that when
That might have been with Hangouts, yeah. I think that's why, yeah, because we were using the Google Hangouts at the time before they fucking shit canned that for no reason. Which, I mean, it was a blessing because StreamYard is fucking perfect.
Yeah, StreamYard's really good.
But yeah, it was. Yeah, I guess it was Hangouts. But yeah, because of the way everything was set up, we had to have guests on different streams. So having like 6 guests we had over the course of that episode 150. Yeah.
I legitimately don't remember.
Which, by the way, now that we're coming up on 250, we got to figure out some way to commemorate the episode. So,
Should do a drunk show.
I don't know if I can drink yet. Unfortunately, I'm actually seeing the liver specialist on the 4th.
Tell your liver specialist you've got a thing.
Yeah, a week from today. So,
Say, what would happen
yeah,
if I imbibed one night?
yeah. Would I die?
The answer is no. It's going to suck.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, it's like you'll have several days of I hate my life, but
Yes.
you won't die.
Okay. All right. Well,
And he'll tell you don't do it because it's not
of
good
course.
for you.
Right.
But I can tell you that yes, it's going to hurt, but you won't die.
Okay.
I would trust Dave over your liver guy.
All right. Fair enough.
I have the fatty liver thing. I'm telling you, like it's
Oh, you have it?
yeah.
Oh. When did you find that out?
I've had it for I don't know. They diagnosed it when I was going through all the other stuff.
Huh.
Yeah.
And it never goes away?
I don't drink.
Huh. I kind of assumed that if you like took care of yourself and everything, it would go away eventually.
Kind of
All
kind of
right.
susceptible to it. Like, it's kind of like, I think it was like scar tissue on like a tendon or something like that.
Oh.
You know, it's, you know, you can gain strength back, but it's like not something that you want to, you know, you don't want to fucking be powerlifting on all the time.
Yeah.
Would you drink for a special episode?
I would,
All right.
but I'm
Me
not.
too.
All right. Well, we'll
Ask him. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, consult your professional.
Yeah, we've got 2 months before episode
Yeah.
250. So, who keeps bumping their mic and why is the cable loose? Probably me, I'm sure.
We need new mics. It's kind
That's
of
that's the next thing. Yeah. So.
I'm ready.
All in due time.
I'm gonna pass out from this brownie coma.
Alrighty. Well, then we will end the stream before you go comatose live on YouTube. All right, guys.
What?
We're cutting it. Thanks for sticking around this long. You guys are all the best.
You are the best.
And it's good seeing you, Wally and Isaac.
Yes.
Glad
you just fucking.
Not that to take anything away from everybody else in the chat, but it's like we hardly ever see you guys. It seems like.
Yeah.
So.
Wally, especially. It's early.
Yeah. So anyway,
not wearing the right watch.
have a good week, everyone.
Yeah, man.
And we'll see you next week.
Cheers.
Peace.